Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Please like, share, subscribe as you join the live. And if you happen to later catch the replay, please like, share, subscribe because as I say, we are real random over here. So you want to make sure you catch me when I go live. We get into it. We are the Starlights. This is the party. And today's no different. So I want to talk about this story that I saw today where it was, I guess the story or the discussion that's been had is if Keke Palmer's career, basically the question is many people, I guess many people have just taken notice that there's been a difference between how Keke Palmer's career and the actress Zendaya. Both of them are actresses. Keke also is a singer, so she do a lot of stuff. But people have noticed that there's been a difference with how the careers of the two ladies have taken off. People find actually Zendaya, I guess, to be more mainstream than Keke Palmer. And quite frankly, I guess I never really even thought about it before until just today, when I heard that people were comparing the accomplishments of the two ladies. I do like both ladies. They're both much younger than I am, but I'm very familiar with their work. More so familiar with Keke Palmer's work. I think I've seen more of her work versus Zendaya's work, but I do know that both ladies are very popular. They both started, working when they were very young. Um, for Kiki's 28, Zendaya is 25. So they're pretty young, and they're just young, two young women doing their thing. Keke Palmer, black woman. Zendaya, she's biracial. Some may still consider her black. Her mother is white, her father is black. She's actually from, where I'm from, as far as the Bay Area in California. She's from Oakland, California, which is the Bay Area. That's pretty much where I'm from. So, I mean, I think both ladies are doing the doggone thing, in their careers, and they both deserve to be celebrated. So, once I heard that there's this conversation about the two being compared, I then started doing my own research to see, like, okay, well, I mean, on the surface, yes, you see, there's a difference with, skin complexion. And, it's no secret. We all know, a person with lighter skin in comparison to a person with darker skin, you typically see a more favored, and more often than not, I'll say, not in all situations, but more often than not, you'll see um, within an industry a person with a more fair skin being more favored than a person with a darker skin. And we can say that, just say, when it comes to black versus white, or when it comes to just within the black community, light skin versus dark skin. So we've seen that. It seemed like the word colorism, it's always kind of a something to talk about. And it comes up, from here and there, just even within the commentary that I give on just different things that's going on in the celebrity world. So when I, did my research and kind of started comparing things between the two ladies outside of, their physical appearance, I I do see a noticeable difference, I guess, with how the two ladies' careers have really taken off as it translates to I guess recognition, you can say, as it translates to recognition and uh money made. Like, listen, both girls are in their bag, but I'm just gonna say, Keke Palmer's bag don't look like Zendaya's. It just don't. But Keke Palmer has definitely been on the scene uh longer than Zendaya. They both, like I said, were child stars. But I'll show you, how I do over here. I'm gonna show you all the receipts, the things that I found that had me to conclude or come to the conclusion that I've come to. So I'm just wondering if, we're dealing with a situation where, Keke is not really wanting to call a spade a spade. She's just someone who to not sit in. What can I say? I feel like what Keke's doing is just like, yes, I know what it is, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse to hold me back from still achieving things. Like, I think that's what it is. Like, Keke's trying to be that bigger person. Well, let me not focus on, what I don't have. Let me focus on what I do have. And she don't want to come off as looking like, okay, well, somebody who's maybe hating or jealous of someone else. That's all I can come with. Hey, Reg Rose. Yes, we in here. Listen, I'm about to get into it. You want to come up? Because I didn't listen, we got to get into it. It's I done the deep dive, and it's evident what's the deal. It's evident what's going on, but Keke's not calling a spade a spade. I get it, because sometimes, as we say, the darker person, they got to be careful what they say. They don't want to come off like hard or hating on somebody. And listen, but I'm seeing it. I got 3 seats. I'm going to get into, what. Listen, I'm gonna get into it. Let me just start here. I'm about to share my screen. Y'all know how I do over here. We finna get into it. Y'all definitely let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment. Hold on. Cause listen, child. So we jumping over to T. Let me see. Let me see. Get back over here again. Please make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe as we get into this tea. Same mess, different day. Okay. Let me see. Let me try to find what I want to find again. Looks like I lost it for a minute, but that's okay. We finna get into it. We are going to get into it. We're going to first, I want to jump to TMZ site, because they have really, a lot of information on their site that kind of tells kind of what the deal, what's really going on out here in these streets and these Hollywood streets with these millennials. Okay, here we go. Listen. So y'all keep trying to keep it cute, but y'all, I'm finna come over. I'm finna break it down and say what this ain't trying to say. So Keke Palmer responds to Zendaya comparisons and Colorism Commentary. So this was yesterday, July 24th, 2022. This, this was posted. So the article goes on to say Keke Palmer don't want to play the comparison game or try acting like she's a victim of colorism, responding to all chatter about her career juxtaposed to Zendaya's and showing pride in her own accolades. Keke Palmer tweeted, "A great example of colorism is to believe I can be compared to anyone. I'm the youngest talk show host ever, the first Black woman to star in her own show on Nickelodeon, and the youngest and first Black Cinderella on Broadway. I'm an incomparable talent, baby. This is Keke Palmer, period." Like, I felt that. I get that, but you can still be all those, what they say, 2 things can be true at once. KP writes, so listen, that's what she said. That's what she had said. She also added, I've been this was her tweet. "I've been a leading lady since I was 11 years old. I have over 100 plus credits and currently starring in an original screenplay that's the #1 film at the box office. #nope." So that's the name of the new movie, y'all. Y'all check it out. I ain't checked it out yet. I heard great things about it, but I ain't seen it yet. "I've had a blessed career thus far. I couldn't ask for more, but God continues to surprise me." Keke Palmer is getting the side-by-side treatment with Zendaya on Twitter after her starring role in Jordan Peele's new movie, sparking a conversation about colorism in Hollywood. Here's the deal. Keke made a splash this weekend in Nope opposite Daniel Kaluuya with some arguing. This is her breakout moment in the mainstream. Yes, she's worked in tons of movies, shows for years, but prior to this, she wasn't really a known household name generally. JP's flick has put her on the map like she's never been before. So somebody tweeted, yo, Keke Palmer deserves the same hype y'all give Zendaya. That's where Zendaya enters the chat metaphorically. Someone on the Bird app said Keke deserves the same hype and adulation as Zendaya typically enjoys these days. And from there, folks started talking about why one might perhaps have ascended earlier than the other. Before we write this off as pitting two women of color against each other, let's just entertain the subject matter and substance of the argument, because frankly, it's an interesting one. Somebody said, I'd like someone to do a deep dive in the similarities and the difference between Keke Palmer and Zendaya's careers. This may be the clearest examples of how colorism plays out in Hollywood. They were both child stars, but their mainstream popularity is very different. Let me see. Somebody said it's so interesting seeing the conversation around Keke Palmer having her breakout or superstar moment, and it's wild we live in different worlds, because in my household, Keke being a star for forever. Akilah and the Bee was my dad's favorite movie. It went triple platinum in my home. Someone floated the theory that colorism was why Zendaya has experienced more mainstream success than Keke has at this point in their careers, even though they're around the same age. Both have Disney backgrounds, and despite one having way more acting credits than the other, Keke Zendaya's the name face we know more in 2022. Of course, there's backlash to the fact that this is being discussed at all, with Zendaya's fans, of course, coming to her defense, and what they say feels like personal attacks against their idol. Lord Jesus. But others say they're missing the point entirely, and that this isn't about Zendaya per se. Somebody said having a discussion about colorism involving Zendaya can be so frustrating, because trust, her fans will get overly defensive every single time. Y'all, they out here sound like the beehive. Y'all know you can't say nothing about bee with them beehives. So Zendaya, I don't know what she called her little crew, but they definitely come in for her defense. So I mean, listen, I ain't mad, but I don't know, them light-skinned Warriors supporters, they be coming hard for their people. Listen, I'm gonna sit that there. You can hop into the Keke and Zendaya trends and see for yourself how this discussion is taking shape. But long story short, there seems to be a good majority who feel like Zendaya, through no fault of her own, have greatly benefited from her mixed race heritage. We should know Zendaya herself has acknowledged this on multiple occasions, saying she wants to help her community, the Black community, get on the same level in show business. There's no easy answer here, and we're sure this debate will continue. As for Keke, we'll say this: she has been killing it since forever, but nope, that's the movie. Nope, truly is something else. Star making roles come about every so often, and this is certainly one of them. We're sure we'll see a lot more of Keke very soon. So listen, I mean, like I said, let's call a spade a spade. I feel like, to me, it's evident, because I did the before jumping on this live, I went ahead and kind of did a deep dive myself, and like, okay, let me just bump they lives up against one another, and like, it's no comparison. And I feel like Keke's just the type of person, and maybe the way she's been raised, which I can relate. The same. We don't kind of just sit in something, we just get out there and do what we need to do, versus kind of playing the comparison game. Kind of like, last night I did a live talking about with Chris Brown and T-Pain, and T-Pain kind of in his feelings and talking about Chris Brown has the quote unquote princess complex. So it was like, okay, was that necessary really for him to kind of say that? But at the same time, when, you know, when he broke it down, his reasoning, I felt it, but I also felt like it was coming from a place of he's been feeling this way. And it's not maybe even just in regards to Chris Brown, but just people who are of lighter complexion. So I feel like this is the kind of the same thing. I never, you know, thought about it this deep because, like I said, you know, I'm like a lot older than, you know, these ladies, like 10 plus years older than these ladies, believe it or not. So they're not in my genre, but I'm familiar with the works of Keke, as someone pointed out, Akilah and the Bee. Like, I'm familiar with that movie. I'm not really familiar with, like, somebody put me on the spot and be like, okay, tell me something Zendaya played in. Like, first thing I think of is like Spider-Man. Like, yeah, that's all I got. And I can say she was on Disney, but I didn't watch any of her shows on Disney because I was like a grown A woman, you know, when she was doing shows on Disney. So it is what it is. And then, you know, I did see and I have heard, you know, that Zendaya has spoken out about colors. And so on the flip side, in her defense, it's not like she's a woman that's acting blind to the idea that colorism is an entire thing out here. So she can't control that, but she acknowledges that it is a thing. Like, yo, like I want to do my, like, that's like a white person acknowledging racism is a thing. Like, okay, do we go around still blaming Becky and Brad? Like, okay, they said it's a thing. I want to be, you know, I want to be out there at the, you know, Free Daquan March too, you know, on the boulevard. Like, you know, it's like they're just one person. So I think that we can still deal with the matter and the facts of something that is a thing, but still not attack the players involved, if that makes any sense. It's not Keke's fault that she's not getting that same hype as Zendaya, and it's not Zendaya's fault that that Keke's not getting that same hype. It's just it is what it is. So I haven't seen where Zendaya has come out in response to these comparisons. Of course, we saw Keke um, make a comment. I don't feel like Zendaya, I personally don't feel like everything deserves a response, but I would imagine that maybe, like, of course, if Zendaya were to be interviewed, it's something that would come up. I think what was going on probably was something more so you probably would look for Keke to kind of respond to because it was following the release of her hit movie that everybody's raving about. So I see why she responded. And, you know, I like her response. But I mean, I'm sure that in the background, she has had conversations about colorism and things like that. But at the same time, she's just like a lot of people of color in Hollywood. They just do what they do, work hard, and just hope and pray to the gods that they just get what they're deserving of. Because at the end of the day, racism is real, colorism is real, it's been a thing. What can you do about it? Like, we can talk about it until we blue in the face, which it seems like we do a lot, but does it actually really do anything? So, like I said, Keke ain't saying and putting it out there, but Sheik will. Sheik say what? We'll definitely put it out there. So I want to show some things in comparison as I kind of started comparing the ladies. I'm gonna jump over and I'm gonna share my screen and kind of jump over to look at Keke Palmer's net worth. Let's go here. So this was as of May 30th, 2022. And it has Keke Palmer's net worth at $7.5 million as she's 28. Yeah, like, let me see. She started her career, or she started her early career as an actor in Barbershop 2. She played the niece of the character played by Queen Latifah. She got some work going back to 2004 in Cold Case. Like, sis been doing the doggone thing. These are some highlights of some things she's done. Barbershop 2 in 2004, signed with Disney Channel in 2005. NAACP Image Award, Outstanding Actress in 2005. Listen, just to show you my age, 2005 is when I had my firstborn. So y'all do the math. As I carry on. Cleaner 2007, Jump in 2007, So Uncool debut album 2007. Black Real Awards, Best Actress in 2007, Interscope Records 2010, Mixtape Awaken 2011, True Jackson VP 2011, Joyful Noise 2012, Brotherly Love 2015, Spirit of the League Awards, Gala 2015, and Tobacco Valley 2018. So sis been around for a minute, but I think, it's just like she's been around, but it's almost like she's been around for us. Like she's been around the neighborhood. You know how some people who, let's talk about like E40, a rapper in the Bay Area in California. I threw him out because I'm from the Bay. Like he's been a rapper since like I can remember, probably like since I was like probably before I even moved to Georgia, since I was like a young teenager. But on a mainstream level, people wouldn't think that he probably even been around that long. They probably like, oh, E40 probably been around maybe like 15 years. But that's not true because he would have that hood life, that hood celebrityism. So I feel like Keke Palmer for us, she goes back to 2004, but though for somebody, let's just say the non-melanated people, if you were to ask them how long Keke Palmer been around in these streets, they probably gonna hit you with about 10 years, 10, 12 years, because that was kind of when she started to kind of go mainstream, when she started kind of really with like being on the television with the Disney Network and things like that. So whereas Zendaya, it's almost like pretty much out the gate, she was almost like she was mainstream, like as far as like, okay, the things that she was a part of, the project she was a part of, it was like they were pushed to like the collective versus like Barbershop. That's a straight black movie. Like it is like you got certain movies that predominantly like black people see. And then you'll have movies that are predominantly like a lot of white people see, but still, even when you have those movies that a lot of white people see, it seems like those movies still tend to make more money than the movies that a lot of black people see. Listen, it's just what it is. So Zendaya's, it's like almost out the gate, she's just been pushed by the machine to become out there and to become that household name. Whereas, with Keke, it took some time for her to kind of cross over and kind of leave the black community kind of per se and step over into that diverse community, where you got a mixture of people, a mixture of audience, a mixture of an audience that are kind of now looking at your work. So that's what I see with that. But yeah, so I want to in comparison to that, so like I said, that's Keke. So let's look at, okay, let me go ahead and scroll back up so y'all can make a mental note of what this number looking like for Keke. So remember this number right here. Remember this age. And remember how far back we said her catalog goes. Sis is going back to 2004. Okay, so we just remember that. So let's jump over to our less melanated sister girl, Zendaya. Because she's melanated too. She's just, less melanated. So let me see where I want to go. Okay, so let's jump over. Listen, we're doing the deep dive. Somebody said, can somebody do the deep dive? That's what we're doing over here. Sheik is doing the deep dive. Now, y'all keep in mind, I cannot swim. So y'all save a sister if you see that I'm starting to drown. Zendaya's net worth. Look at that number, y'all. Remember that other number that we seen for Keke? What was it? What we said it was? Anybody remember? 7.5 million. This is our girl Zendaya's net worth. Keke Palmer, 28 years old. Remember her first project was 2004. Zendaya is 25 years old. Both girls are Virgos. Keke's born August 26, 93. Zendaya's born September 1st, 96. Hey, so this 96, this was a great year. This was pretty much right when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia from California. Right when baby girl was being born. So yeah, that's a big difference, guys. It is. Let's see what it says. So career wise, Zendaya began her professional career working as a fashion model for Macy's, Mervyn's, and Old Navy. So right there, that exposure, that mainstream, the exposure come Macy's. Like, who don't know about Macy's? Like Mervyn's, like, listen, Bay Area, that was a Mervyn's. I don't know where y'all live, but Mervyn's was like a big store brand in California when I lived there. Like I said, this young lady is from, the Bay Area where I'm from. She's from Oakland, California. I'm from Pittsburgh, California, a small town right outside of Oakland, California. Mervyn's was a big brand. And of course, we all know about Old Navy. Mervyn's, I don't think they not around. I don't know if they still around anywhere, but it was a big brand in California. So out the gate, she's getting that exposure that's hitting all of the audiences, not just the Black or the white audience. Let me see. So her show was a show that featured Selena Gomez. So y'all know she's huge. We ain't probably go there to see what her network is, because I would imagine her stuff is through the roof if we see that Zendaya is at 20 million. The biggest breakthrough in her career, her acting career, came when she got one of the leading roles in the Disney Channel series Shake It Up. The show ran from 2010 to 2013. During this time, Zendaya recorded her first songs and filmed her first music videos, both for the series. She appeared in one of the episodes of Good Luck Charlie, another Disney Channel series. So earlier I talked about, Keke being like a song, a singer, actress, all that. Seemed like Zendaya is kind of the same thing. I don't know if Zendaya ever tried to like push a singing career. Like, we've seen where Keke, where here and there, she'll kind of release songs that's not associated with like TV shows. It's like she's just kind of releasing songs like a regular singer would. So I don't know if Zendaya ever had taken her music outside of like, recordings for television shows. But we see, this young lady has the gift to sing as well, which is awesome. So in 2013, Zendaya took part in Dancing with the Stars, where she and her partner Val placed second. So in the same year, she released her debut solo single Replay and self-titled album, which reached 51 on the Billboard 200. So there goes my answer with that. She did release music. Like I said, when I say I never really followed this girl. Listen. Reg Rose. You know how I do over here. I had to give her some of the melanin. She's just less melanated. So she did. Release some music. So listen, I guess right now they on the same level as far as with the things that they've done. Keke, like I said, we've all seen where she's released music and try to go in with her with the music career and things like that, but it just never really took off, like that. Let me see. Yeah, because even like when I'm gonna jump back over to where we were showing her net worth. I'm gonna get into what it talks about with her career, what it said about her career as a singer with trying to sing, because they kind of gave some numbers for Zendaya's with how her projects did. But yeah, let's see what they saying about Keke's with, when sis want to try to, be the next be Sierra or something, how that worked out for her. So it says Palmer moved from Atlanta. Okay, so it says a year later, she was cast in Nickelodeon's sitcom True Jackson VP, which gained a lot of success. The following year, she a Black Reel Award. I guess she was awarded a Black Reel Award for Best Actress. So it says Palmer moved from Atlanta Records, and 1 year later, she released her first mixtape, Awakening. So listen, y'all know when somebody releasing a mixtape, that's like underground music. That's like, okay, you ain't got no label. You just trying to, get yourself out there. They didn't say nothing about no mixtape with Zendaya. Palmer. So her self-titled, the second mixtape was released her self-titled the second mixtape. So now she done 2 mixtapes. So is that saying nobody ain't try to pick her up as an artist on a label? I'm just saying, was released in 2012. From 2011 to 14, she was the main voice role in Winx Club. She lent her voice to the character in 2012 animation movie Ice Age. So yeah, this right here, this is what what we got out of her, her singing right here. Now we can finna jump back on over to Zendaya and finish reading on her. But listen, it wasn't talking about Keke hit nobody charts. Well, not that she didn't have the skill, but again, nobody had her on no label or anything like that trying to push her for sis to be able to hit somebody charts. So listen, they said Zendaya she reached 51 on the US Billboard 200. So that means she had to be on somebody's label, right? Somebody had to have signed her. We didn't see nothing in here talking about mixtape. So as I carry on, let's see what else. In 2016, Zendaya made her feature film debut as Michelle in Spider-Man's Homecoming, which was released in 2017. So let's scroll down. Zendaya, let's get into her money. Let's get into her bag. Even though it is hard to estimate how much Zendaya makes yearly, as there is a lot that goes into it, such as sponsorships from brands like Chi Hair Care, deals with brands like Tommy Hilfiger, her clothing line, shoe collection. Listen, why y'all finna have me jump back over to Keke? Why y'all ain't see nothing like that talking about where Keke money coming from? I'm just saying. Let me go ahead and finish getting through Zendaya. That's that stuff I'm talking about. Look at all that Chi hair care. Anybody familiar? Anybody got some hair on their head, regardless of your race, you are familiar with that Chi hairline, which is not a cheap hairline. Tommy Hilfiger, like you need to be kind of having some money, not collecting unemployment weekly or the welfare check to be able to be trying to partake in supporting these brands regularly. She has her clothing line, shoe collection, magazine covers. So yeah, we've seen Keke, our girl, on magazine covers, but I don't know nothing about her having no shoe collection, no clothing line, or being an endorser of like any type of big name products. I'm just saying, y'all can drop it in the comments if y'all aware of some deals like this or this type of level that our girl Keke Palmer has done or is presently doing. It is more or less known how much she made from individual projects. So listen, these folks are saying that this number, let's go on back up here. This 20 million right here. Don't get it twisted. That ain't even factoring in where we were at when we was getting to our salary. This right here, that ain't got nothing to do with that 20 million. Because these folks then said we can only figure out what her money look like from her individual projects. This is some other stuff that she got going on. So that leads me to believe that Sis Network is definitely more than $20 million. It's more than $20 million. So she's leaps and bounds above our girl Keke when it comes to what that bank account look like, getting that to that bag. Like again, it's no shade or fault to Zendaya, but it is what it is. And I bet you, and let me know, because they said that, Zendaya has spoke on, maybe, I can, while I'm on this live, if you want me to, I can, let me know in the comments if you want me to try to search for what it was that maybe she said about, how she felt like being the privilege of being less melanated. We'll go with that. She's benefited more. I done messed around and lost my train of thought. The point I was trying to get, because it's obvious that she's definitely benefited. Okay, I know what I'm trying to get. Do you think with all this that has come out this weekend that Zendaya has said to herself, I agree, I know what this is about, but what can I do about it? It is what it is. You think this young lady ain't had conversation? She got a whole black daddy within her family about just colorism. hell, it's a reason, I'm sure, why her daddy ended up with her mama. Like, let's keep it real. So I don't believe this girl, has been raised without having the conversations pertaining to colorism, because as I've talked about before, many people who are of a fairer skin or less melanated, they talk about their stories of being treated differently because of their skin, especially sis coming from Oakland, California. Either if y'all don't know about the Oakland, y'all need to get into it and learn about Oakland. So I would imagine that she definitely got some stories, about how she had to defend, I guess, her race, her color, what she looked like, and all of that, just because of what she looked like. I mean, I'm sure she got stories, because Oakland is a predominantly Black community. It's a predominantly Black community, and most people that's coming out of Oakland, most Black folks that's coming out of Oakland, do not look like Zendaya. I'm just going to say it. They don't look like her. So I would definitely like to know, like, what her thoughts are concerning what got released out here, about, her, or her being compared to Keke Palmer. But again, I still don't feel like it's the young lady's fault, but it is what it is. And we're going to continue to carry on. So like I said, 20 million, that's not even factoring her endorsements, because they said they had no way of calculating that. Like, they can't. So we got that. We're going to take a little further. We finna jump over to the gram. Let's jump over to Instagram. I'm like, okay, well, what these followers, what these followings look like? Well, before we do that, let me jump over to now who I want to go to. We're gonna go to Keke first, since we've been doing her first. So let me I'm gonna jump over to, I want to go to Keke. I want to show her catalog of her projects. Like, so this is Keke, Lauren Kiana Palmer. Guys, I never really even knew what Keke's real name was. So her name is Lauren Kiana, Lauren Kiana Palmer. Okay. So now we know what Keke, if y'all didn't know, now we know what Keke real name, what her government name is. So let's scroll. So let's get down. So she got a couple of projects that are pending for 2023, being Mortal and The Hospital. Her most recent project, as we know, is Nope, which came out this year. So let's scroll all the way down and see where we start. Listen, Barbershop 2 is starting with her first project, 2004. That's a long time. So how many years we talking about? So 2004, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So that's 18 year. She got an 18-year career. So most of her life has been in show business. 18 years. This is all the things like that she's done. Yep. She's done. Sis has done a lot. She's been working. She's definitely been working. So let me jump over to show. So we said 2004 is when she came out the box, showing us she came out the box. One thing we can say is that these girls are working. Oh, yes, they are working. That's why I'm like, I don't take nothing from either one of them. Zendaya and her, less melanated behind. Listen, I'm here for you. You working. These girls have to have excellent work ethic. They ought to be a motivation for anybody who's just trying to achieve anything. Let's just say that. So let's get into Zendaya. Zendaya, which means to give thanks in the language of Shauna. So she seems like a sweet girl. So these are projects of Zendaya. She got a couple of projects also pending for 2023. Listen, these girls are both working. So as we see, it's like almost like they both are at work at the same time, but getting different outcomes. Look, they both got 2 projects that are pending for 2023. Keke got 2 projects and Zendaya got 2 projects. Zendaya got Dune, is that Done or Dune Part 2 and Challengers. And they're both slated to come out in 2023. And let's go down and see when Zendaya first work started. It got her stuff started in 2011. Remember, we said Keke stuff started in 2014. I'm sorry, 2004. Keke had a 7-year head start on this young lady. But this lady makes like 12, this lady probably make about at least $20 million more than, because we're going to say with them endorsements we seen that they couldn't calculate the monies for, that probably was about another 7 right there, what Keke's net worth was by itself. So we're going to say this woman is making close to about 20 million more. Zendaya is making about 20 million more roughly than Keke after her endorsements. And Keke had a 7-year head start. It is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. I'm just here to report on it, to air it out, to show the comparison. So that's that. So as I was saying before, I want to show the Instagram. So I'm like, okay, well, what do these ladies following look like? Okay, so let's go to Keke. We're going to her first. So this is her Instagram page. She got 11.1 million followers. Okay, we see you, Keke. This is her most recent post 5 hours ago. Had to do it to him. Black is beautiful. Black girl magic with a listen. She giving it. She's coming through as always, stopping traffic like I do. Y'all, 1.1 million. This is her on the set. Finally, the final day came where I could post this because Nope movie is actually coming out tomorrow. I like her hair. I really like the natural look with the big curls. Let me see. Let's play this. Let me see. Very young. Think it ain't. Hopefully, ain't got no music, y'all.
Final days of Nope. We doing this. Check it out. This movie's about to drop tomorrow. Yeah, right.
So listen. So okay, she got 11.1 million. Okay, we see you, Keke. Let me see. Let's look at some more pictures. That's her on set. Like she doing a doggone thing. Okay, so that's our girl. That's our girl, Keke. Reg Rose says, I love Keke's Vogue shoot with the afro. Yes, she comes through every time. Like that's what she do. So let's get into our girl Zendaya. Let's go ahead and jump over and see, what her gram looking like. Let's see what her gram looking like. Going over to Zendaya. Hey, is that 149 million? That can't be right. What did we say Keke's was? 11.1 million. Oh, wow. 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 Okay. Any thoughts, anyone? Any thoughts, anyone? What's your thoughts on that? Is it just this young lady Zendaya just been working harder? So that's why she has 149 million. Hell, how many Kim K got? Hell, is she over 100? Like, y'all, let me damn compare her to Kim Kardashian because that's a lot of followers. That is a lot of followers. Remember, this Keke Palmer had a 7-year head start. I need to see y'all. Listen, I'm trying to put some stuff into perspective to make sure I ain't tripping over here, that the people ain't tripping when they're saying, okay, so Kim K got 326 million followers. So hell, she closer to her than Keke Palmer. She is. That's a lot of followers. But remember, y'all, I showed her catalog with her movies. I showed hers and Keke. And they both had a lot of projects, but Keke had a 7-year head start. Keke had a 7-year head start. Zendaya's is 25 years old. Just to recap, sis is 25 years old. Her net worth without projects endorsement, her net worth without endorsements is estimated about 20 million. So that's without her modeling endorsements, beauty endorsements, what they let me see. Let's say we said that she was participating in Chi hair care. She has deals like with Tommy Hilfiger. Hell, she got her own clothing line. Shoe collection, magazine covers like British Vogue. What type of covers were we seeing Keke on? Was she on those international type covers, or was she on like our, our BET, our Essence type magazines, our covers, BET awards? Like, what kind of covers have she graced? Y'all, this stuff makes a difference. You cannot tell me that Keke and her camp, they haven't had these type of discussions. They may not be putting it out there on the forefront as though they're whining about it, but you cannot tell me that her people have not had these discussions behind the scene. You can't. I'm sorry. You cannot. I am not buying it. Girl, yes. Resro says, y'all got to like the video when you come in. I appreciate you. Thank you. Please like the video when you come in. Like, share, and subscribe. We're getting into it over here like no other day, but you're here today. Please like, share, subscribe. We're getting into it. We're saying the things that Keke is not coming out saying. We're calling a spade a spade. I want to know, what do you think? Am I tripping? Am I reading into things? Is colorism a whole thing? Or is it like, listen, y'all want to come up? I'm gonna drop the link and y'all can come up here and we can get into it. We can talk about it. And I'm good with hearing an opposing view, because to me, it's very obvious. It's obvious. And sometimes people don't want to state the obvious because they're like, hell, it's obvious. Like, it is what it is. It's obvious. So I just dropped the link. If you want to hit the chat to come up, you don't have to be on camera when you come up, but hope no trolls. But I just want to have the conversation because it's very evident what's going on. Like I said, I showed how both young ladies have had singing careers. Keke, they hollering Keke had 2 mixtapes. And then they hollering, oh, Zendaya was on number 51 on the Billboard for 200. Hey, Reg Rose, you there?
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Am I tripping or what?
Oh,
Like,
God.
am I reaching? Am I being too sensitive?
No, you are not reaching. I want to start off by saying that I just think this is so unfair to Keke for this to be brought up when it's her moment. This is her movie. You know what I'm saying? And then for people to just go and make a post like comparing her to Zendaya, I don't think that that's fair to Keke at all. You know what I'm saying? Because she has done a lot. Like that tweet that she made about her being the first or youngest Black talk show host, which she was.
Yeah.
She was on
you knew
Keke.
you knew that fun fact about her already?
Yes, she was actually I think she had her own show and then she went on a show with Michael Strahan and Sarah Haynes. Sarah Haynes.
I didn't like that look, Reg. When she did that, I felt like it looked awkward, out of place.
It did, but I think that was
like, what the hell? Like,
I think because Michael Strahan is known for being a snow bunny lover and Sarah Haynes is a snow bunny, they wanted to add maybe someone young and Black so that Michael Strahan doesn't get dragged for, looking at Sarah Haynes the wrong, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of stuff like that. Maybe I'm reaching.
Like out of place, like her sitting there in between them. I'm like, what the heck?
Like, what is going on?
So crazy to me. It just always seemed kind of off to me, but
yeah, that was. So I first want to say I think that's unfair to Keke, but I think that, Zendaya got some haters that have just been waiting for her privilege to be exposed because you've mentioned, she's come out in the past and said before she's acknowledged her light skin privilege. But the difference between her and Keke is that, well, obviously Zendaya is mixed and Keke is a full African American. Yes. But Keke is like a real activist. Like, she actually goes in the communities. I remember when I was in college, I was living in Harlem, and something happened. It was like either a Mike Brown shooting or some type of shooting. It wasn't George Floyd yet, but I remember Keke was in New York. I think she was filming at the time. She may be filming a movie or something, and then there was a shooting that happened with that involved an unarmed black man. And so Keke actually went to Harlem, rented out a venue, like some black-owned restaurant, and just had a conversation with black youth in Harlem. Like, Keke is she's the real deal. She's the real deal. She's
Wow.
able to be mainstream and still kind of know her activist, like, passion,
She's
if that
still
makes sense.
rooted. It seemed like she's still grounded in her roots. She sounds like she's still very grounded. I wonder, where is she from? Because I always knew Zendaya was from Oakland, since I knew kind of who she
Girl,
was.
let's talk about Zendaya being from Oakland. Have you, please, Sheik, I'm gonna need you to pull up a photo of Zendaya's parents. Can you
That's what I
please?
said. I said I know they gave her the business when she was out there, because have you listen? Have you? I guess you're familiar with Oakland. Have you ever been to Oakland?
No, I haven't been to Oakland yet, but
It
I
ain't
know of it,
the period.
obviously.
It doesn't know just with whatever pictures or whatever you may know. Let me go and pull some pictures up of Oakland.
Because
Oakland
from
is
what
that
I'm
wide.
seeing, Oakland, well, I don't know, maybe not Oakland, but I have heard that a lot of how do I say this? Okay, first of all, first question. When you find a picture of Zendaya's parents,
Okay, I'm
I'm
looking
gonna
it up
need
now.
to I need to I need to ask Zendaya's dad where he found that white woman in Oakland, because
Not just him. Remember, I told you what the ones look like in my neighborhood.
well, girl, pull up that photo and
I'm listening.
we're gonna
Okay,
see
hold on.
everybody.
Oh, you so crazy. She looked worse than I remember her looking. You shade. Let me go ahead and show this.
Am I lying though?
No, you're
Am I?
not. You're not. Let me go ahead. Give me a minute. I forgot. Listen, this how these ones in my damn not neighborhood be looking.
Is
Listen.
that how the white women in Oakland look?
Yeah.
And I love
Listen, the
Zendaya.
ones that's okay. So Oakland is mainly, let me just say this. You have the Oakland Hills, but that ain't what mostly Oakland is. Oakland is more so known about being about that street life. It wasn't your place that you hollering where, let me just say that no, only people that was running around claiming they were from Oakland was if you trying to have some street cred, because in Oakland, it goes down in Oakland.
Okay.
So that's the only time you really heard Oakland. Because I want to say my twin sisters, they were born in the hospital in Oakland, but we're from a small town outside of that called Pittsburgh. But that was just, I think, the hospital where they were born. So I'm familiar with Oakland because they have the mall. We would go up there to maybe go to some restaurants, go to the mall. But listen, we wasn't just straight kicking it in Oakland, because Oakland, you just better keep your head down, mind your business. It was one of them environments. Because you know who else is from Oakland? Kaylani's from Oakland.
Right. I've
And I
heard that.
believe the singer Her, is from Oakland.
But you see how Kaylani and her are mixed looking like Zendaya. So there are a bunch of these stories that
Yes,
I've
I don't
seen lately
recall.
of
That's
black men getting with these
They
light
clearly
brights
are,
in
but these
Oakland.
also, again, remember I talked about with me growing up, these girls and even Kaylani, they're all younger than me. So they were in a different
Okay.
era than me. So when
Gotcha.
my era, I didn't go around seeing a lot of like interracial mixed type, like a thing like that. So these ladies would have been born when I was maybe like 10.
Gotcha.
So it's like things started to take a turn, I guess, as it got into the 90s, it seemed, because I'm an 80s. I was born in 80. So it seemed
Okay.
like once it hit the 90s, as you point that out, with they all kind of got that look, things started to take a turn where that black man really started to more heavily, aggressively swoop up the white woman.
Right.
Because Oakland wasn't even an area when I was growing up. So when I was going to Oakland, the times I was going, I was, it was between the age of like be up to 12 when I would go. That you didn't see non-melanated people, white folks. That's just not what you seen when you went to Oakland. It was kind of like Atlanta, like so you been in Atlanta and you have your
Mm-hmm.
predominantly black areas. It's going to be like DeKalb County, so you have Decatur. And then in Atlanta, you have like College Parks. You have certain areas that are predominantly Black, but now they're
Right.
starting to do this gentrification thing.
Mm-hmm.
So in some of
Mm-hmm.
these areas, more so like in Atlanta, they're not so heavily Black or melanated people like it used to. It's still predominantly, but they're starting to try to phase us out. And as they're doing the gentrification. So Oakland is one of the people to where if you just seen a white person around, you kind of do a double take. It wasn't your norm. Like you like, what the hell she doing here? Like
Okay. Okay.
it was one of those. But as you pointed out, the other ladies with the age thing, it seemed like right around the 90s, the Black men started probably importing the white women into Oakland.
Yeah, I
They
think
didn't
they
went and
did.
they didn't probably went and pulled them from like Vallejo, Sacramento. They didn't went and found them a Becky from somewhere else and brought her home
Oh my
because I don't
gosh.
remember any of them looking like that. Like I said, it was just strictly Black. So, like I said, I'm sure Zendaya has her share of stories as to
Mm.
what life was like for her. I'm wondering if she went to private school, if they had any kind of money to where because I'm sure Zendaya kind of got the business, just because of what she looked like, with just sometimes where people would just kind of mistreat you just because you look different. And
Mm.
I really, were you familiar with already before this live that she had spoke out about colorism and understanding that she was getting special treatment? Because
Yes,
I
I
wasn't
was
aware of that.
aware of that. That's been out for like maybe 2 years, 2, 3 years. That's
Okay.
kind of been in the ether of social media. People, so shout out to Zendaya for acknowledging her light skin
Yes.
privilege, but that girl is still out here taking roles. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to give up her bag. She's not
Right.
going
Well,
to give up that privilege.
that was the same thing for Tandy Newton. Remember, she came out crying. I did a video on
Girl,
her.
I showed my mom that video. She was like, "What the hell did you show me?"
She was crying.
She was like, "I'm sorry that I was the
Took
one that's
y'all man.
chosen. Like I took your man. Like, girl, don't you only date white men?"
That's what I said. And I looked at the time, she had been with the same white man for like over 20 years. So I'm like, sis, when were you dating white men? I mean,
When
black
she was
men.
in that movie with Tyler Perry, that's the only time she dated a black man. And we know Tyler Perry is one of the hey girl, hey.
Yes. Remember, she did the movie also with Eddie Murphy.
What movie was that?
That was in was it was that Rasputia?
Girl, I don't know. I don't follow Thandy
Yes,
like
that
that.
was how I came to kind of more so be hip more to me. My memory of knowing who she was. She was like
Okay.
his love interest in that movie her privilege. I'm trying to find that article about her talking about her privilege, but
Mm-hmm.
like I was just like, sis, how you talking about taking black men when you been with this same? You talking about you been doing this while on the watch of your husband because you been
Yeah,
with the same man.
it's almost performative, and you know what I'm saying, like Dandy didn't really feel bad. She just knows what's going on in the social media in black spaces, right? So she felt that maybe if I just cry on camera to the black women, they'll feel bad for me or something. That's why I say it's performative, and that's why I kind of side eye Zendaya a little bit, because it's like, okay, sis, you're aware that you have light skin privilege. You're aware you're getting all these roles and opportunities because of your light skin or lack of melanin, as you say, Chic. If you know all this, you're still in this industry though, trying to get your bag. So, like, can we judge Zendaya for knowing the colorist, racist industry that she's in and still trying to profit off of it? Unlike where we look at Keke Palmer, who, is a real activist who actually will go out into the communities. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think of that? Am I reaching?
Here's my thing. I get everything that you're saying and it makes sense, but I also put that argument up against black versus white, and a white person, me having a white friend and acknowledging, and that friend acknowledging that they don't go through the same, they not looked at with the side eye when they go shopping in Target like I am.
Hmm.
So are they, do I expect them to not go in Target? You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Okay.
that just because something is, I don't think it's the responsibility that we have to, where that person has to just completely
Give it up.
change their life and stop doing what they're doing because somebody else can't do it on the same level. Because let's just say if Zendaya stopped working today, that is not going to change anything.
It's
Just
not.
because Zendaya is not accepting that role, that doesn't automatically mean that, okay, if Zendaya don't accept it, okay, well, damn, we'll just go ahead and give it to Keke. It doesn't work that way.
Right,
It's just
right.
not with
They're
their.
gonna find another light skinned woman.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no, to me it makes no sense for Zendaya to just not leave the house. It
Okay.
wouldn't do nothing. It's the mindset of the people. I think the best thing what she did, if I just showed my screen, I found that article what you were talking about, and it was like in 2018 where she talked about, the privilege as being light skinned black woman. And I feel like the best thing that she or somebody like her can do, or any white people can do, is bring awareness to things. And that's what she did. And look at, we seen what her numbers look like as far as her platform. So someone with a platform like that making that comment, that's big. That's big, so I don't think that it's only so much we can expect for an individual to do when it comes to something that's on a systematic type level. So this article says we can always trust Zendaya to keep it real. So when the 21-year-old actress sat down with Blackish star Yara Shahidi to talk race and on-screen representation of glamour, we knew it was likely some truth bombs were about to be dropped. In the interview, Zendaya and Shahidi fangirled over successful black women, including Beyonce, Shonda Rhimes, and Michelle Obama, who they both refer to as their 46th president. Shahidi then turned the tables onto Zendaya, looping her in with a list of trailblazers for the work she's done on her Disney Channel show, Casey Undercover, before signing on for the series. Zendaya demanded that her character's name be rewritten from Katie to KC. So originally the name was going to be Katie. We know who normally what. So Zendaya was like, hold up. So starting right there, sis is coming out she trying. She trying. Like
Okay.
she trying. That was something.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
she could have still been Katie, but she was like, no, what we not gonna do is have me and my black daddy over here. Y'all gonna be calling me Katie. And my whole name is Zendaya. Some African name.
Girl.
So we finna change this to KC. The show featured, so clearly they wanted her enough to where, remember, it was about the look to where they're like, oh, okay, we'll change the name. You think that clearly they had a look that they were going for, because if
Right.
that wasn't the case, they could have simply say, okay, well, we'll just get somebody else.
Girl, did you see the mom on that show? Oh my God. It was, if so, this Casey, I don't mean to interrupt you,
Go
but
ahead.
just for context, this Casey Undercover, all the kids were mixed. Zendaya had a mixed looking brother, and I think another mixed looking brother. I'm not sure. But the mother was dark skinned.
What the daddy look like?
I don't think they showed the dad. Well, maybe I didn't see the dad wasn't in the show centrally like Zendaya, the brother,
And the
and the
mom, and
mom.
the mom, and the
So it
mama
was
was a
kind
straight
of
black woman.
straight black woman. You probably seen her too. You probably seen her in some stuff.
Yeah, I'll probably try to look up the cast members for that to kind of get an idea. So let's see, more to come.
So
When asked what gave her the confidence to demand a part in the show's creative choices, Zendaya explained that it was a childhood of not seeing herself on screen. I didn't feel like there was any other choice. I was like, if I'm going to do this, this is how it has to be. She said there needs to be a black family on the Disney Channel. So they like, okay, we're gonna give you your black mama, but listen, that's what we stopping at right there. A lot of the people who
I
listen,
can't.
we finna give you your black mama, but listen, don't be asking for no black siblings now. We did already let you change the name. You're doing too much. So a lot of people who aren't people of color can't quite understand what's it like to grow up and not see yourself in mainstream media. And in spite of her own success, and they admitted that there is still a lot of progress to be made, especially for black women who might not have the same light skin privilege that she has. And there is so much work to be done. She said, I've talked about this before, but I can honestly say I would be in the position. I can honestly say I would be in the position if I'm in if I weren't a light skinned black woman. No. So she's saying, yeah, if she wasn't light skinned, no, she wouldn't be in her position. Yeah, so then Shahidi agreed with Zendaya's desire to see more diverse groups of Black women represented on screen, laminating that she's never seen a half Black, half Iranian character written in a script. However, despite their fame, the women are adamant in not wanting to be seen as face of Black girls, but instead someone that opens a door for other Black women to succeed. One thing that I constantly say is that my goal is to not be the face of Black girls, Shahidi said. The goal is to open up the door so widely that I am drowning in a sea of Black girls. So I mean, I think Zendaya is doing what she can. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all we can do is just do our part or do what we can. Like you talked about Keke going to the Black community and doing kind of like activist kind of work, talking to the people. That's just doing your part. And the thing about when people make it, I think the thing that I feel like, I think sometimes people want to police what it looks like for someone to come to partake in something or to show support. Like I don't think that we can police what somebody should be doing as a means of showing their support. Like you'll see, like sometimes people may get mad at Beyonce. Oh, why she ain't using her voice for this? You know what I'm saying? But though people do other things in other ways to show their support. You have silent support. Some people use their money to show their support. Some people are like gonna get out there in the trenches and just be physically present. So I don't think that it's fair for somebody to just expect for someone to show their support in one way when they're showing it in another way. And I think that both of these ladies in that interview, they both just talked about, or in particular Zendaya, she just talked about just what she's able to do, just her being little old. She was what, 21 at the just little old me.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm doing. Like what more can we expect? She's young. So it's like what more can we like really expect from her? And I wouldn't expect for her to just stop working. But I wouldn't expect for her to get out there like Andy Newton but crazy behind. I would
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that
I
that was
don't
phony. To me, Zendaya's wasn't. It was her recognizing it is what it is. I'm working, yes, but let me continue to work and maybe get to a point to where I have some clout in the industry to where I can put on more people that look more melanated like my dad. Because
I
that could
get
be a thing too.
that.
What'd you say?
I get that,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying maybe it was a reach to say maybe Zendaya shouldn't be taking those roles. I'm not saying that, but like with if we look at Kiki's um I'll say reputation for lack of a better word. Like if we compare the reputations of these two, okay, Kiki is a little bit more pro-black, a little bit
Yes.
more on the activism side, so that may deter her from the mainstream audience. Whereas
Okay.
Zendaya, if
Hmm.
she just acknowledges colorism and her privilege, it's not really so threatening to
Right.
mainstream media, if that makes sense. Because
Yes, it does. It
Kiki, when
does.
she goes out, that's she's like, listen, I'm for my community. I want us to prosper or whatever. Zendaya's kind of more like everyone deserves a chance, or she's not
She's
really
more
radical.
inclusive. She's more
Right,
inclusive
right.
when she speaks. Yeah.
So I think that because Zendaya is more inclusive, this is contributing to why her stats are just higher than Kiki's. Because, like you mentioned, Kiki had like a 7-year start ahead of Zendaya, but Zendaya, like I kind of am aware of these girls just because they're around my age. I grew up with Kiki and then I grew up with Zendaya. So I kind of saw how it was going. So we were introduced to Kiki with Aquila and the Bee, and
Yeah.
then she did
Mhm.
some Tyler Perry movies,
Yeah.
and she
Mhm.
got um she got her own show on Nickelodeon. Um Now if we look at Zendaya, her first show was her first breakout role was on Disney, but she was next to a white girl on the show. Like it was Zendaya and the girl Bella Thorne. Like it
Okay.
was no star. It was these two like equally. So
Okay.
Zendaya never had her own show at first, but they
Okay.
added her on it with a white girl. So do you kind of understand how?
Yeah, I mean, I think I follow everything you said. I think Zendaya is she's a safe route, like remember I talked about before in a previous slide where sometimes a more melanated person, they come off to be more threatening.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have to, it's like there's a certain persona like that, like there's a certain, like the light when someone's fair skin or like for example, Res Rose, I was looking at today one of your videos that you did, and you
Oh,
talked
girl.
about, yeah, it was about the colorism, with men, with the gay community,
Mm.
and you talk, and it showed how, like, even in the modeling industry, when it comes to the black man, they want you to have a certain look, but then somebody who's not black, they want they're okay with them looking softer,
Right,
thinner,
right.
like that's a real thing. So I think when it comes to just in this, what we're talking about, Zendaya, it's almost like, okay, she's the safe route. She's that one that make people feel comfortable. So you can even put like using Kelly Rowland and Beyonce. Beyonce is more
Mm-hmm.
the safe one. She's not
Yeah.
as in your face with certain things that she look. What Kelly says, she'll burn the whole park down with the Sesame Place. Did you see when she
Oh,
said that?
girl, I didn't see that. I didn't know Kelly was bad about it.
Yes, Beyonce would never say anything like that. Beyonce, because she's trained, she has this image. She can't say
Mm.
things like that. Kelly said, I would burn the whole. That's when I first learned about the story. I didn't cover it on my channel. There's been a lot going on. I just haven't even covered that. But yeah, Kelly's was like, man, I would have burnt the whole park down. Those were her
Okay.
words. But Beyonce wouldn't, Beyonce wouldn't dare make a comment like that.
She'll put it in her music. That's what Beanie
Yes,
does.
but she's not going to come out and just make a comment like that.
Yeah.
And so I think that with Zendaya, with her, she plays it safe, and it also it comes down to I think training. What do you call that? Mark PR training. She
Yeah.
been
Media
trained.
training.
She trained on how to move. You want to make sure people still feel comfortable. So we want to be careful with our words. We want to speak inclusiveness. We don't want to single anybody out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, it's so I think that's what's going on. Whereas with Keke, when she steps in a room, she black. Soon as she open up her mouth,
Yeah.
it's just no question about it. Her black, she's undeniably black. She's proud to be black. It is what it is. With Zendaya, you can kind of mold her.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
can mold her. She can have that Zendaya energy, or she can have that Kaylani Hood energy. It's just because of the way they look, you can mold them into how you want them to be, because they can either tap into the black side or the white side. And Zendaya has learned early on that tapping into more so that white side, that's where her success is coming from, because it makes for those people, the powers that be, the people in control, to feel more
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if she starts speaking out too much and making it blatant and all of that, they're going to start to feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be like,
And
oh
that
my God,
bag
like,
is going to be
yes, oh
compromised.
yeah. So that's why I said I'm curious to see if she's going to even end up speaking out about what's going on right now, is because what can she say outside of acknowledging, like what can she say? I personally don't feel like this is a moment that warrants her to have to speak out. But
Yeah.
I really think that if she do speak out, people would be more critical about what she will say versus what
Yeah.
Keke Palmer said. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's best to not say anything. And maybe when, a lot of these celebrities, when they do interviews, they know the questions in advance, so they can already be prepared to have
Mm.
their response ready. So therefore, she can have a head start if she sits down with someone and it comes up, because I'm pretty sure it's going to come up in an interview. She'll already have her politically correct response. Let me get through some of these comments. So Kareem says, and Day has been doing G work the work though. She actually casting black dark skinned women. Her fashion shows. Okay. I didn't even know she had a clothing line. So check out the 2018 fashion show for Tommy Hilfiger. Also on her show, she fought for a dark black girl to play her sister. In
Mm.
Casey Undercover. So remember, I talked about that, with maybe as she climbs up, she can kind of start incorporating the more melanated
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
people. Kareen also says she also refused to play Aaliyah when they did their outrage over the role. Oh,
Did you
I
hear about
forgot
that?
about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yep, I
They was
did.
not here for her being Aaliyah. They were like, she too light.
Yeah, and I wasn't mad at it because I wasn't mad at the idea just because I'm like, okay, her body form, like I wasn't, but I remember
Yeah,
people
I
saying
wasn't
stuff.
mad
I
about it.
wasn't
Like,
mad
it
at it.
was an okay fit. Like,
Yeah,
yes, somebody probably would have been more qualified. Like, but
right.
Zendaya, she's a dancer, singer, actress. She could have done that.
Not true. She put Gianna Ranchi in place when she talked about her dreadlocks and what else. Kareen says, please do your research about Zendaya.
Oh,
She
oh.
been speaking out for years. So my
Uh,
thing is,
mhm,
I'm saying on here, I'm good with where Zendaya is because she is speaking out on it. So my
mhm,
stance is that I don't feel like there's more than I'm looking for this young lady to do. So as if you, I don't know if you just joined, but I was talking about like I'm with the fact that she spoke out on it and that she's acknowledging that a thing is a thing and she's not quiet about it. So I'm happy for her. I don't feel like she can fight the whole plight by herself. She's doing what she can do, which is bringing
mhm,
awareness of it, speaking out on it. Like, and that to me, that's enough because that's more than some people do. Some people would just try to play crazy and act like something ain't what it is when it, it is.
mhm.
And then when that's not the case, she hasn't been doing that. I just wasn't familiar with all her works because, like I said, I'm out of her, like me and her are two different elements. So I did a high level research for this video. But what I did find is that she had spoken out. So I was good
Mhm.
with that. I was good with that. But I would like to see, yeah, if she's going to speak out again, since it's so heavy right now on the internet. Kareen said, I'm saying she's been speaking out for years. It's not just now when colorism isn't mainstream. She's 26 and been speaking out since she was a teenager. Okay. So,
Kareen, I don't know. Listen, I don't remember Zendaya speaking out on her light skin privilege when she was a
Kareen,
teen.
and hold on one moment, Reg Rose. Kareen, if you want to hit the link in here, I'll drop it in if you want to come up because I didn't even know she had spoke out at all until I started kind of researching this live. And then, I looked it up. And then you're saying she started speaking out, before. So you can definitely, if you have, if you want to come up and add a different perspective, we're here for it. But go ahead, Reg Rose. What do you have to say?
I think she has been speaking out, and that's probably the most that she can do. Like I mentioned, like I'm not trying to, since we're already comparing her to Keke, right? If we
Mhm.
compare their passions on activism, Keke has been out there and more vocal compared to Zendaya. But you Kareen mentioned that Zendaya was had a fashion show for Tommy Hilfiger, but the tea with that is there's been rumors that Tommy Hilfiger has been racist and has been using black entertainers for decades. You know what I'm saying? To promote his clothing brand. He did that with Aaliyah. Okay. He did that with another. I think he did that to Nas. Nas
Yeah.
was in an interview when he said Tommy Hilfiger asked if he was gonna rap for them tonight. Like it was some
Wow.
circus act or some shit.
Right. Well, listen, like I typed in Zendaya acknowledges her privilege, whatever. So that's what I came up with the 2018. So I have to get more creative, I guess, with my description, I guess, to try to get more times that she spoke out. So that's what I came up with the 2018. So that's why I wasn't aware that she'd been speaking out since she was, I guess in high school. But that's good for her. I don't really look for her to do anything more than what she's been doing because her speaking out and acknowledging what's going on, that's good enough for me. So for some, it may not be. For me, I'm saying it's good enough for me. I don't feel like she, as just a single individual, can change the plight of just black women with getting jobs and getting roles. Just like I didn't think Tandy Newton could, but I just thought the way she came about, I just felt like that was unnecessary. And I felt like she did that because she knew that a movie was about to be released. So here's the background. I don't know if you saw the video that I had did when Tandy Newton came out with that movie and they had cast her, but that movie was based on a story that originally starred, it was a black woman that had that role.
Right, right.
Yeah, so I think she felt away because she knew, okay, when the movie came out, people was going to bring light, shed light to that. Like, okay, why are they
Mm,
casting her for it instead of like, okay, somebody who's obviously looks black from the outside? And I felt like she did that to kind of get in front of it. You know how like
yeah,
you start
yeah.
trying to defend yourself before people come for you, because the movie, people hadn't even started coming for her yet. She started it all. And it's just like, what is she talking about? So I felt like she felt like people are going to come for her
She was
because
scared.
if she wanted to try to do, get in front of it. And I still never even seen the movie. I don't even know anybody who's seen the movie. I can't even remember the name of the movie.
See her, Zoe Zeldana, trying to
Yeah.
play Nina Simone with that
Yeah.
prosthetic nose and
If you
makeup, child.
I feel
This
like
is
if you
why
gotta
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
to. This is why I feel like I have to side eye them, Zendaya, anybody in Yar Shahidi, like you mentioned earlier. This is enough for you. Like her speaking out on it is enough. I I'm gonna venture to say I want to see more from Zendaya. I want to see more of that activism from these light skinned women, just because you you are still in this industry, and I'm not trying to say leave, you know what I'm saying, but like it's like working as a house mom of a strip
Mhm.
club, right? You know that
Right.
your girls are being taken advantage of by the men, but the money's still good, and you acknowledge that the girls are being taken advantage of, but you still got that job role. I don't
Right.
know, maybe I'm reaching, but I do want
No,
to see more from them.
I see what you're saying. I mean, because I've heard, I don't know if you ever follow I think she's Chrissy After Dark. You familiar with her? She speaks a lot on colorism type
Yeah,
issues.
I know Chrissy.
Yeah, so Chrissy talks about that. She'll say that the one who's benefit from it, they'll kind of low key and on a way at acknowledge it, but she don't see, I guess,
Much
kind of
net
more so
worth.
what you're talking about,
Right.
with them coming to the defense to say, hey, black women need to get more roles. It's just, okay, it just stops at them kind of acknowledging it. So to me, what you're saying, it sounds more like, what I've heard her say or what her concerns or issues have been when it
Mm,
comes to representation. She calls it, it's just like, okay, light skinned woman, you benefit from it, but you don't never step up and like say, hey, I guess if you'll rather, some of them will rather, okay, spray paint me, put the prosthetics on me, instead of saying, you know what, maybe you should just get a black person to play this role, you know what I'm saying, instead of trying to make it fit for me.
Another thing I want to point out, Sheik, is I don't know if you watch ABC, that news network, but they did a segment on black women, black actresses in Hollywood. Halle Berry was on it. There was an actress that was on that Netflix movie Passing. I
Okay.
cannot remember her name, but they basically talked about colorism in Hollywood and how light skinned actresses benefit from it. This came out this year, like I'm gonna say in February. And then Halle Berry goes on to speak, and I noticed that when she talks, because they were talking about representation and little girls seeing girls that they look like. Halle Berry specifically said, I'm doing this for the Zendayas of the world. You know what I'm saying? Or
Really?
the
Okay.
yes, like I want you to try, if you can, try to find that, or maybe I'll send you that segment on ABC News, because it was at night. It was like ABC Nightline or something.
Okay.
So I say that to say that with when I've heard of Chrissy, I know her message, and she's kind of right. These women do look out for themselves. Yes, they may come out and say, "Yes, I want black girls to succeed too," but they a lot of times they really are looking out for other mixed girls.
Wow, that's interesting. I've never heard, I guess, a mixed person, say that, call out, make that statement as far as to single out someone else who I guess are mixed like them. So that's an interesting one.
Well, Hallie, I'll give Hallie some credit. I think what Hallie meant was like all black girls, meaning black girls who are fully black, black girls who are mixed. You know what I'm saying? But for Hallie to kind of only really mentions Zendaya or other light skinned actresses that she was wanting to be a role model for.
Mhm.
Like if she would have said, "I'm doing this for the Kikis, the Lupitas, the Zendayas," like
Right.
if it was a little bit more of a
Right. But she
colorful,
yes.
you just have to pay attention to stuff like that. Yes, it's
Yeah,
like small, but
I see what you're saying. It's almost like putting them against us. And Kareen says, wait, so her actually casting dark skinned black women and actually putting food on her plates is not helping?
oh, I need to see those receipts, Kareem. When has she casted a black woman? Because I didn't know that Zendaya was a producer. I thought she was an actress. I haven't seen
Mhm.
any producer credits from her or any casting credits. So if you can maybe show us what show or movie that she casted a black woman.
Hmm.
Do you know, Sheik? Because I
Yeah,
wasn't aware
no.
of this.
That was new to me. Yeah, I didn't know that she was in a position like that to do that. As we seen in that article I read where she kind of made some requests when it came to that show
On
with
Disney.
changing the name, but as far as anything else, no. That's I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of that. So yeah, if you can definitely share that with us, Kareen, if you want to provide more background about that. But I mean, the conversations need to be had. I think Keke came out and said what she said, but I don't think that she was really able to say what she really wanted to say. I think she had to keep it cute. She had to keep it cute. She had to keep it professional. And again,
Hmm.
remember I say that these entertainers, they have, PR people and certain etiquette. They can't come off aggressive. And Keke already has a big personality. So
Yeah.
I think that she did her best to not sound like to not be aggressive. She kept it just about herself instead of like acknowledging or making a comment of she didn't insinuate at all in any of her comments that there was any parts that she agreed with. She strictly kept the focus on focusing on herself.
And
And
Kiki
I feel
even
like it was
mentioned
a
that,
ploy. I feel like she had to do it. It was what she was advised to do. But I
yeah.
feel like she understands. And I feel like in the background, she is happy that people are recognizing it, because sometimes what they say, you don't have to say it, somebody else will. That's what we over here doing. That's what I'm over here doing. I'm saying it. But still, regardless of whatever's going on in Kiki's corner, that to me, I don't put any blame on Zendaya and how she's moving out here. I'm just showing parallels and pointing out, the obvious because yes, Stevie Wonder can see there's a clear differentiation between a treatment with these two talented young women
Well,
at
let
no
me ask
fault
you
of the
this.
other. It's just what it is, it's the thing, and I'm calling it out. I'm not in denial about it. We can talk all day about whatever Zendaya's accomplishments is or whatever she's doing, but that has
Mhm.
no bearing on as the industry as a whole and what's been done. And yeah, and Zendaya isn't at fault for what's been done on a higher level.
She's
The
not.
people who are in control, they're the ones controlling things, not Zendaya. She's not the one controlling things.
Let me ask you this, Sheik,
Mhm.
because
Hold
Kiki
on, we got
tweeted.
Kareen. Let me add Kareen. I see she just jumped
Yes.
in.
Hey, Kareen.
Hey guys, I love your conversation. Can you
Hi,
hear me?
welcome. Thanks for joining us. What do you got to say? Because you seem to be real familiar with Zendaya, more so definitely than me. So we're here to listen to what you got to say.
Okay, I'm just okay. The only reason why I'm putting that in, I'm not everything you said. Both of you were right. It's right. The colorism exists. We see the clear delineation. We see it. But my point is to say Zendaya hasn't been doing anything is not accurate. Also, is to say she specifically said when she was the director of that Tommy Hilfiger, when Tommy Hilfiger gave her that line that she did, she specifically cast dark skinned black girls in the role. She said she did that. I don't know if she did it, but it came out, the words came out of her mouth that she
Mhm.
fought for those girls and cast those girls. She said when she was the executive producer on Casey Undercover, she wanted that little dark skinned girl that played her sister to play her
Mhm.
role. Okay, I've been following Zendaya, because I've been watching her career since she started, because my daughter watched that show on Disney when she started on.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying she is the most activist person in the world and she's out there with her signs. I'm saying she's not a type of person who hasn't acknowledged her privilege. She's done it in several
Yeah.
articles. You showed the article, right? There's other
Yeah.
articles where she acknowledged it. There was an article before everything, when everybody was talking about colorism and it wasn't popular online. The girl talked about her dreadlocks and this thing, and she's like, "How are you disrespecting me and disrespecting dreadlocks?" She spoke like no one was saying anything about dreads or anything like that, and she took Julian Rastic from E to task when she was saying, "Oh,
I
you
remember
sound
that.
like you're," and she was like 16 or 17 years old. So
Wow.
to say, I just want us, when we have these conversations, like I know everybody is talking about colorism, and and to say to cape for, like people say, oh, why do dark skinned people cape for light skinned people? I'm just saying, I like to be fair.
Okay.
We had conversations before she about how Shakira Richardson, and then I was telling you about, as a track and field fan, she wasn't it. She wasn't it. She was just loud, and people put her out there like she was it.
Yeah.
She didn't do any major accomplishments for things. She won a college meet, college, not international meet, where you show your work. It's international, it's Olympic, it's world championship, and she never done any of that. But everybody was praising her and then make it about like, oh, everybody's attacking this black girl, when it wasn't. When people were saying, listen, she has to show her work. In track and
Yep.
field athletics, you have to show your work. We whatever
Yeah.
the governmental thing and all of this racism, we know that happens. No one has said that racism and colorism is not an issue. But we can't just cast everybody with the same brush. Like we're doing the
Mm.
same thing that we're accusing them of. Because not all some of them light skinned girls, yeah, like that girl that played Storm, that the light skinned girl, she was disgusting. She was like, oh well, I'm light skinned and da da da. No. Like we call her out for it because she was wrong for doing that. Because when people say, okay, Storm is supposed to be a dark skinned black girl, why didn't you should deny the role? She's like, oh, I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. I'm an actress. I can do anything I want to do. And that's how she
Mm.
was. And she was horrible at Storm. She was horrible at Storm. So my
Not
point is,
horrible.
she was horrible as Storm. So my point is, like, I understand everything you guys are saying, and I didn't know the thing about the background, because I know you said you went to modeling. I didn't know that. From her mouth though, I saw an interview. She said she fought for those dark skinned girls to be in because she did a 70s like a 70s runway type thing, and she
Mhm.
said, I need afros, I need dark skinned women, I want black
Wow.
women who represented the 70s to be in the show. So I was like, oh, Zendaya, like this was when she wasn't really as popular as she is now. I was like, oh, Zendaya is doing this. So for me, seeing her all these years, I've seen her actually did speak out. She's not loud. She's not a loud person.
Yeah.
She's not a
Mhm.
Kiki's at is Keke. I'm not saying Kiki's loud. Keke is out there. She's on. Remember, Keke is not only an actress. Keke was doing hosting. She was a talk show host as
Yeah.
well.
She's
Keke,
boisterous. Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
boisterous.
Yeah.
So Kika's been
Yeah.
like out there as an activist, so she wants to be an
Mhm.
activist. But maybe Zendaya don't want to be an activist. Maybe she just want to be an actress.
And
And
that's good because that's why I said that I don't think that, like, my take on it, I was saying I don't think that people should police how people show up and show support. So like you just gave examples of how Zendaya has, which she's done it in a different way than what we were saying. Okay, Kiki did it. So I don't, because I see that where a lot of people will think, well, okay, well, somebody should be doing more or they should do it this way or that way. And I never really stood on that side because, like you pointed out, Kareem, with the difference with their personalities, you do, like Deontay, she's not very boisterous, but she do a lot with her money, or she might throw some in her song. Meanwhile, I said, hell, Kelly Rowland talking about burning the whole Sesame Park down. So you people move
and but
differently.
Kelly's not that activist. She just that's that one thing. Come on, Kelly has not been that loud and outgo and out talking. There's so many injustices that's going on for years and years. George Floyd, all of that. Kelly wasn't like that. Kelly just came out there doing that. But she's never always been like, oh, everything. There's some people when there's like Ti. No matter what you want to say about Ti, when there's things that's out, you know he talks about it. You know he calls it out. Kelly has not always been like that, and it's fine. She doesn't have to be like that. I'm just saying we expect too much of actors. They're actors. They're entertainers. They're not people who, like, some of them have power, but some of them don't. They just, you're like you and me, trying to make money. You know, trying to live their life. I mean, I don't expect, and that's the problem with Black people too. I think we expect actors to do the work instead of friggin' politicians and people who're supposed to make changes. I think that's what we need to do, and stop holding these actors as our like, they're not that's not their job. I'm sorry, but that's not their job. And I think in the white community, you don't see people calling out those white people for things. They go to their senators, they go to the community people who's supposed to do this. They're people's advocate. Whoever's supposed, the people who are in charge that we're paying all these tax money for is who we should call out to do these, to make these changes. And that's what we need to do. Because actors, really, what could they really do except make their money and live their fabulous life? They're gonna come and post something on social media and then do what? Go live their fabulous life. They're not. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be ranting. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, I mean, I
just,
understand. I mean,
I
I
just,
understand.
yeah, I don't want to rant. I
This was
think
good. I love this.
You're good, Corinne. I mean, you made a lot of points that there. Actually share many of the same sentiments. You just kind of broke it down more, because that's why, I don't fall on the side of, okay, well, because Zendaya is privileged that she should turn down roles or this. I feel like, okay, her speaking out on things, I'm good with that. With her just letting it be known, hey, I see what's going on. I'm good with that. But I know, as you pointed out, there are some people who want to see people do more. Like, there's always going to be somebody just in general with any of us that's going to want to see us do more or move in a different way than what we moved. And we're all individuals, and just as they are. So if they choose to say, no, okay, this is how I'm going to show my support, it's just that. Who are we to tell them, no, you need to be showing it this way? But because they're on the platform and people see them and they see their lives and they see what they do, what they don't post, and this, that, and the third, it shines a light on them. But they're no different than us when it comes to, okay, what do we choose to support? Because we're not, all of us aren't out here at every Black Lives Matter move, and doing all the support, but our life isn't on that platform for people to see that. And that's the thing when they say, you got to take the good and the bad with being a celebrity, is because your life is like, it's so exposed. So people looking at your every move and they're critiquing it, and in a way that we, like us, don't have to experience. So it's a lot of pressure. It is a lot of pressure. And that's when I talked about how, they have these professional, like with their PR team, the people who help them, the people who help them get their words together to say, okay, let's make this statement. Let's respond to this. Maybe let's not respond to this. And I think that's good, because sometimes these famous people, they'll jump bad at you and get slick with you and all that. And it just make things even worse versus just not even saying nothing. And I think everything doesn't warrant a response. And I think even with everything that we're talking about, what's going on with people comparing Zendaya to Keke, I personally don't feel like it even warrants a response from Zendaya. She's been showing, if she's showing her support or doing whatever, however she chooses to do it, so be it. But I don't think there should be any expectation as to, okay, well, now from here, what we need to be seeing Zendaya do it. It's on a higher level. It's bigger than her. As I said before, this is dealing with the powers that be, or the people who are in charge, not Zendaya. She's just one person. She's just doing whatever little bit she can do by saying, okay, well, I want to have somebody with some afros. But at the end of the day, they could have easily said, well, no, we're not doing that. Like, they could do that. So she's just doing what she can do. And we have to appreciate that, because not everybody is even doing that. They're not. So we got to appreciate the people who are actually doing something. A lot of times the people who complain about how somebody is doing something, what they are or aren't doing something, are people who aren't even doing anything. But they're the ones with the biggest voices. That be the part for me, and what they call them, keyboard thugs. People be on the internet and they're so quick to comfort people and to drag them just because they're behind a keyboard and people don't know who they are. And no, it's not fair. It's
Let
not
me
fair.
I have a question, because Keke tweeted that because someone had made that post saying the fact that there was an original tweet post comparing the careers of Zendaya and Keke, and
Okay.
Keke responded by saying, it's actually colorism for y'all to compare me. to this girl. So what do we think of that? Like, do we even, why was this, when this is Keke's moment, she's had her movie, you know what I'm saying? And then randomly on Twitter, someone wants to compare her to Zendaya. Do we think that this is colorism, like to actually point this out when it's Keke's moment?
I don't know if I think it's colorism. I think that person is. Oh, okay. Let me tell you why this has been going on. For the last 2 months, everybody's been comparing themselves to Zendaya. Amber Heard is comparing herself to Zendaya. All these people is comparing themselves to Zendaya, and I don't know why people are doing that. Because this girl is not, her career and Keke career is not really the same. Keke is like 30 in her 30s, right? Is it Keke in her
Like she's
30s?
Yes, yes,
29,
yeah,
30.
she's 29 or 30. Yeah, she's right approaching 30.
The only thing I think that's comparable is that they started out during like kids show, like Keke Nickelodeon and Zendaya did Disney, and they had like a music thing going on. That's the only thing I think is comparable. Other than that, they're two actresses. I mean, okay, they're actresses, but Keke is more for me as it's done everything. She's done hosting. She's done. I don't think Zendaya is more fashion and acting. You know what I mean? So I don't know how you could compare that because I don't think Keke does fashion, does she? I haven't seen her
No,
done any
but
fashion.
Keke was signed to Disney Channel in 2005. Sheik actually pulled up the website of Keke's
Yeah.
accomplishments. So if
Mhm.
Keke Palmer gets a deal with Disney 2005, she does a movie with them called Jump In with Corbin Blue from High School Musical, the black boy from High School Musical. They did a movie on Disney Channel, but she didn't get a show. She was never on a show on Disney Channel. Maybe she did like some extra work or she was a guest star, but she never had her own show. They had to send her to Nickelodeon for her own show. And if we really want to go there, I was in that generation. I was a kid. I was watching Nickelodeon and Disney. Disney was kind of the bougie older sister, you know, or the bougier sister. Like Nickelodeon was kind of
Yeah.
second tier to
Yeah.
Disney. So it does make me side eye a little bit. I know it. Zendaya has nothing to do with it. Keke has nothing to do with it. It's like you guys are saying. It is the powers that be. The fact that Keke didn't get her own show, but Zendaya did get a show, but she didn't get her own show yet. Like it's just like you have to look at all these. Like I don't know. I was in the industry. I was watching these shows, so maybe that's why I am a little bit more biased or like going in on it. So I just think that um I, I say that all to say I don't think Zendaya is not doing anything. I think that she, has spoken out, but there was a comment that she pulled up in one in all these tweets, and somebody said it's hard to talk about colorism and Zendaya because her fans are gonna be super defensive. You know what I'm saying? So it is hard to have these conversations
Yeah.
and to
No,
be real with how we feel.
no, I listen. But I'm dark skinned, so colorism. I know about that. My point is, for Zendaya, I feel like people put her like they keep. It's like Beyonce. Everything they put, like it's like she's not even in. Why are they involving her in all these things? Like the girl don't even bother nobody. That's my point. My point is, yes, I'm a fan, but I'm a Keke fan too. And Keke is different. She's not, like I said, Zendaya is more fashion and acting. She's really a fashionista more than anything else. She's gonna come dressed fabulous, and she's a fashion person. And she's got into fashion really, really early. So their career trajectory to me is different. That's my point. It's not that you can't colorism. Of course, she got some of her roles because she's light skinned and she a biracial. Rather than light skinned, she's biracial. So of course, Disney at that time, because Disney was doing a lot of biracial girls during her run. They had like a lot of biracial because look at Coco Jones. Coco Jones was on. That's who you should compare the thing to. Coco Jones is a dark skinned girl, very talented, very beautiful, and she had like she didn't have a show on Disney, but she had a movie. She did 2 movies on Disney, and she had like her career to me is more comparable to Zendaya and with the colorism because her career didn't really get off. I mean, she's super talented. I don't know if you guys will know who Coco Jones is.
Yeah, I'm looking her up now because I'm not familiar
I'm
with
not
her.
familiar with her.
Yeah.
She's a singer, she's an actress on Disney, but she didn't get like a big role. They didn't push her forward like how they pushed Zendaya. But like I said, Zendaya
Wow.
is in the fashion, and I think the fashion was the thing that made her career go. Because remember, after she did those shows in Disney, she wasn't doing a lot of movies. She just started doing a lot of movies when she got that Spider-Man movie. She wasn't in a lot of movies after Disney.
Yeah.
It's her fashion. It's her fashion. People started to notice her because of her fashion.
But how did she get these fashion roles? She is on Elle. She's on all these
And
high
she took
value Vogue. But hear me out. You know what I'm saying? Because like the thing is with Zendaya, she was on those 2 Disney shows, but she really didn't blow up to mainstream media until she was on Dancing with the Stars. I remember being in high school watching her on Dancing with the Stars, and there was all this fanfare over Zendaya. Nobody really cared about her before she was on Dancing with the Stars. So
no,
after she
Right.
came in second place on Dancing with the Stars, that's when her stardom really started to rise.
yeah,
She
but
started getting all these deals, the fashion deals you're talking about. Keke has been doing this longer than her. She's a little bit
right.
older than her. So why wasn't Keke given all these fashion deals and opportunities
Right.
like Zendaya was? It's because she was on Dancing with the Stars and Disney, and
Right.
she's
No,
lighter
because
skin.
okay, right. But okay, before you go, remember Disney was pushing Zendaya because because Disney owns Dancing with the Stars. That's a Disney product. Dancing with the Stars, a Disney is Channel 7,
Wow, I
not
didn't know. I didn't
ABC.
know that, Kareem.
ABC
Did you
owned
know
by
that,
Disney.
Retro?
I did not know
ABC,
that.
ABC is owned by Disney. So people, her
Okay.
fans she already, because once you're in Disney and you blow up on Disney, like Selena Gomez, look at Selena
Yep.
Gomez, look
Mm,
at Britney Spears, look at
yeah.
what's the other big girl, the Miley Cyrus. Once
Yep.
Disney push you as that new star,
Yeah.
you're
Yep.
let me tell you something. Zendaya been doing fashion since she was 16. This is 2014, 2015. Now, like I said, the fashion to me is what made her more mainstream than anything else. Because listen, there's a lot of those Disney girls that don't get pushed. There was at that time. Look at Bella Thorne. Where's Bella Thorne now? And Bella Thorne was a
Bella
star.
Thorne is in movies. Bella Thorne is still working. She's just turned into a little hoe. That's why nobody's really fucking with her.
No, but okay, and after Disney, she got more roles than Zendaya did. She did. She was more. I saw her in more movies than Zendaya. Like the first movie I ever saw Zendaya in after Disney was the one with the guy from Wolverine, the guy that played Wolverine. That was the first movie I've ever
Mhm.
big mainstream movie. I haven't seen her and Spider Man. She hasn't done a lot of movies, but Keke has done so many movies.
Yeah.
Keke has done a lot of movies. I've
Yeah,
seen
she's done a
Keke.
lot of movies. Yeah, she
Yeah,
has.
Kiki is in 3 movies this year. She's in the Lightyear movie. She just did that movie Nope, and she did another movie this year.
So
So
if
I've been
Keke has done all these projects, right? She's done way more than Zendaya, and Zendaya has a following of over 150 followers compared to Keke Palmer's
11.
11.1 million. And that's a lot for Keke, I will
Yes.
say, because she is on the ground doing like activism work. That's a lot for someone to a lot of activists just don't get 11,000 or 11 million followers like that.
Right.
So, but
well, no,
still,
because she's not an activist. It's because she's a star. That's why. Because if she was just a regular local activist, I don't think she would have gotten that following. I think because she's a celebrity and a star, that's why she got the following on social media.
but can we compare Zendaya's 150 million to Kiki's 11 million if Keke has been doing this longer?
Listen, all I can say is how is star power? Like, look at Kim Kardashian. Look at them. They not nobody. They ain't to me the greatest looking girls in the world. And look at their
Mhm.
social media following. Why they got so much people following them? I don't know. But my point is colorism do play a part. But my point is it's two different. It's two different career trajectory. Because like I said, Zendaya wanted to do fashion more than she did acting because she does her fashion thing. Her fashion career to me is more vast than her acting and then her because she only did two shows on TV, Dancing with the Stars, and 2 big movies. That's it. What big movies? Other than Spider-Man and well, she did Dune, but that wasn't a big movie. Other than Spider-Man, what's a big movie? What's
What are
Zendaya
these?
big movie?
Can you I know you talked about Tommy Hilfiger, but is there any other fashion lines that Zendaya has come out with that I'm not aware of?
She's not a fashion. She's designing with her partner, but she hasn't come out with she hasn't come out with her line. She's just starting to do makeup. She did a little makeup thing that didn't work for her. She does a lot of partnering with like Lancome, with what's the other house that she does it with that they
And
dress her for?
Lancome is a European beauty brand,
Yeah,
and
she does a lot
Zendaya
of
is lighter skin. She did also do something with Anne Hathaway, I think for Tiffany's, like a Tiffany's necklace commercial with Anne
Bulgari.
Hathaway.
Bulgari, I think it's called Bulgari.
Okay,
That's what
right,
it is.
right.
So she's into the fashionista thing to me more than she does makeup. So like her thing is more, you will get more of an audience when you're into those things like makeup and fashion. You get a more audience. People would like gravitate to you. Like Keke is good, but she's activist. Nobody wanna. Most people don't care. Let's keep it real.
But
Most
Yeah.
people,
Kiki also is into fashion too. She's been
yeah.
on Vogue. She has had red carpet moments. People actually do tap into Kiki Palmer's style because she changes up her hair a lot, her style a lot. So, if we
I
do,
love Keke.
my question is, how did Zendaya get in the opportunity to get all these deals, to get the Bulgari, to get the Lancome, Tommy Hilfiger? You know what I'm saying? And Kiki has been doing basically the same thing. The acting, the dancing, the singing, the
This is the
clothing, the
thing.
fashion. Their career is very similar. They're both Disney stars. They're both child stars. They both did dancing. They both did singing. They both have singles. Like their careers are very similar. So I understand why they're being compared, but I just don't think it's fair right now to compare it when Kiki Palmer is having her moment.
Oh, I don't know why they did that. Like I said, I don't. I told you I don't know why they keep bringing up this girl and everything. Because, like I said, they got giving her more publicity. If it's Kiki time, why they keep bringing other people? And that's
Yeah.
another thing too. This negativity is gonna make more people go towards Zendaya too. Because it's like, why they picking on this girl? Because people like underdogs as well. Because
Are
it's like,
people
why?
picking on her? Are people
No,
picking on Zendaya?
my point is why did they do that to Kiki? Why are you comparing Zendaya to Kiki? Why? What's the whole
Yeah,
point
I
of
think
you?
that's so weird. I think that is people just projecting their own colorism,
Yeah, that's what I
you know?
think.
Yeah,
I think this was an opportunity for people who already felt a certain type of way. It's like, okay, let's talk about it now. And they
right.
already, and then I believe that these people who did do that, they're not people who maybe support Zendaya like that for whatever reason. So, because I don't see why, if you're a supporter of Zendaya, why you would even came out making a comment like that. So these
Yeah.
are people who already just hated on the girl for whatever reason. Could have been just because of what she looked like. That is a real thing. And then this was, sometimes people
And
want to get stuff started.
my opinion, Kiki is way prettier than Zendaya. To be honest, her features look prettier to me than Zendaya. But okay, people like the fashion industry and the media are gonna promote her because she's light skinned or biracial. Sorry, I keep saying light skinned. She's biracial, so people are gonna promote her more. But I think they need to stop doing that because you're giving her more publicity. And if you're a fan of Kiki and you did that, then you're a person who's giving Zendaya more publicity and really low key and dissing Kiki.
I agree.
So I found this article, which you talked about with that Tommy Hilfiger. I want to get into it and share it because I mean, other people probably didn't know about it either. So this is from HarperBazaar.com. Tommy and Zendaya hits Paris Fashion Week and it's bringing back the days of disco. So this was in 2019. So you see all these melanated women back there, and so it's like back in 2018, it was revealed that Tommy Hilfiger would be collaborating with Zendaya after a 4-year stint working with Gigi Hadid. Fast forward to Paris Week, and Tommy and Zendaya's first runway show upon us. The runway was turned into a 70s roller rink, complete with light up floor, drenched in red disco lights. And the start of the show, models wore roller skates while showcasing the electric new collection. Basically, the launch of Tommy and Zendaya was literally a party, which is so this is it. Let me see if we can, hopefully, don't have any sound. Let me see if it'll let me.
Okay, spring, summer.
So let's
You're into
see.
fashion. I see that you're into fashion.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So let's see what this showing, what we see. Because I didn't know they had, all this going on. So that's cool. Because I didn't even
She
know we
think
really rock with Tommy like that. Y'all know we had stopped messing with Tommy Hilfiger.
You've heard about
I
their racist allegations, right, Chic?
Yes.
I heard about it,
Yes,
but
but
people still work with him. I don't know.
people still
I
wear
don't
it.
know.
Like, I don't really
They still
see
sell
just
it in
walking on the
Macy's.
yeah. I see it in stores, but I can say that I don't necessarily just see black people when I'm out and about wearing Tommy Hilfiger, but I do see it, I guess, in the stores. So, why isn't it? I'm trying to see if it's
I remember
showing. I want
Aaliyah
to.
wearing it. We were talking about Aaliyah. I remember Aaliyah had that. There was a blue and white, I think, or red shirt she would wear
Yes,
back
I
in the day.
remember that. I know that photo shoot you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hmm. So this is what they turned the runway into.
Are
I
you
don't know.
playing it?
Is it plain? I
Yeah.
don't see
Well,
it
let me
plain.
see if you can see it on my. Let me go to my screen. Let me see. Make sure that. Let me see. Hold on. So it may have jumped off.
Well,
Let
I'm
me
gonna go.
see.
Thank you. You guys are so lovely. I mean, thank you for the conversation. I hope I contribute. I think
Yeah, thanks for jumping on, Kareen, and giving your perspective because it was a different perspective, and we definitely see, what I see what you're saying. It's multifaceted. I think the conversation is so. You have the conversation of colorism, and then we have the conversation of okay, maybe Zendaya's popularity is as a result also because of the route she took in her career as far as how she went about it in comparison to Keke's. That's what I heard from you, Kareen. You talked about the path that Zendaya took, where you're like, okay, going down that path, it makes sense why her numbers look like that. Versus, say, Reg Rose, we were kind of more so focused on just how her appearance and the opportunities extended to her, as though Keke maybe didn't go down that path because maybe she wasn't extended those opportunities. So that's a conversation as well. But I thank you for definitely coming up. Please make sure that you're subscribed. You got the notification bell because we'd love to
definitely.
have you back on here again.
Yes, Kareem.
You know I'm subscribed to you, girl. You know I love your channel. I like your
Thank
channel.
you.
I like your perspective. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Corinne. You take care. Bye.
Bye.
Reg, you see the video with that's a
Yes, I
different
see it
kind of.
now. They're skating now. They're on the runway.
I now that I ain't never seen nothing like that on the. That's definitely giving black girl vibe.
That
That's
I
real.
agree. That was lit.
That's real ethnic right now. When I talk about Oakland, okay, that's some stuff that'll come out of Oakland. People ain't familiar with Oakland.
But
That's real.
would Tommy do this if it wasn't for Zendaya? Absolutely not.
No, that's what I'm saying. Right. I think he did it because she's so big. Like when she was able to come in and say, "Hey, we're going to change the name." If you want, that's a difference with when it comes to the value that people have in you. Because when
Mm,
somebody sees a value in you, they're more apt to make certain moves for you than they would for somebody else. So to tell Zendaya no, they're looking at, well, dang, we're going to miss an opportunity to grab a certain type of audience if we tell her no versus saying yes to this thing that she's asking for. So I
right.
think, yes, that's why they did it. It was because it was for her. I followed the path that Kareem talked about as far as the route that Zendaya went. But I see what you're saying, where you're like, well, was Keke extended those same opportunities to have the chance to go that route.
And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Because not everybody's extended the same opportunities. There's a lot of people, let's just say in the hood, that would love to do great things and go to the best schools or whatever, but they're not extended those opportunities. So because they're not extending those opportunities, it comes off as though they didn't, their life looks different because they weren't capable, when it had absolutely nothing to do with that. It was about the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of. And that's why I say, what I noticed just, with saying just dealing with black community and white community is that white people are no smarter than black people. It's just that it's more the norm for their communities to have more resources, access to things that we don't maybe have in our communities.
Yeah,
So
they're not
no,
smarter than us. They have just been
yeah,
conquering everything.
yep. And a lot of it has to do with because we're not, it's almost like if you make it an even playing field and give us that same opportunity, we're going to shine. So what I see a lot of times with the black people, it's like, okay, well, let's not give them that opportunity, because if we do, we know historically they blow us out the water. So let's just not even allow them to enter the game. Because if somebody's not able to enter the game, then what? They can't beat you, right? Because they're not even able to participate. So I think that's the game that what happens a lot when it comes to just race, is that we're
I
left
agree.
out. We're left out because they know we finna come in and sweep it just like we do with them the games, the track, everything. It's a clean sweep. So they're like, let's not even allow them to come in, because we not here for them to make us look bad again. We not gonna let them make us look bad again. So it's just like, we gonna tell them their invitation still in the mail. when
Oh
when
my
we
God.
never was, it's still in the mail. You know how that go. I haven't gotten my birthday. Oh, it's still in the mail.
It's
So
coming. It's
it's
coming.
coming. Yeah, that's how I feel when it comes to life. When it comes to black people, it's always, oh, it's coming, Kiki. Kiki, it's coming. It's coming. But I mean, it is what it is. I think with Zendaya, she has the fan base of both blacks and whites. Kiki's primary fan base is black. It is what it is. It's just yeah, it's just the way it is. I had showed that girl Lady Coco on the screen. I don't know where you said you never heard of her either,
I've
that
actually
actress.
heard of her name. just haven't like really dug into her projects or anything like that.
Okay, so she had like 1 million followers. So yeah, I wasn't familiar with her like that. But I think I'm sure her career is nothing in comparison to Kiki's, which is why people don't do the comparison really to hers, because her lineup doesn't look like Kiki's or Zendaya's. So I think
Right.
Kiki and Zendaya, they're almost like eye for eye, like they're kind of neck and neck almost with what they've done. It's very close, even though Kiki has done more. But what I did pick up that Kareen had said is that Kiki, then Zendaya got the opportunity to start out at Disney. It's almost like it's new. So tell me this: is Nickelodeon would be the bootleg version of Disney then?
Kind
The
of,
low,
pretty much. Like,
yes,
the ghetto little sister to
yes.
Disney. Even though Nickelodeon's been around longer, it's just Disney had more of that bouginess.
Yes. So I see what she said be with her starting out there. But here's my question. Do you think if they had given Zendaya an opportunity over there like they gave no, if they gave Kiki an opportunity over there like they gave Zendaya, would Kiki's career have kind of look more like Zendaya's? Because going off of what Kareen said, she feel like it's just the path that Zendaya took. Do you think that if Kiki took that same path, those saying that network would have still backed her the same way and she would have still got the same opportunities? Or do you think colorism still would have continued to be a thing?
I think if Kiki did get her own show, or if Kiki took the path that Zendaya did, Kiki would have to be so much more quiet than she is right now. Like, she could not be that activist, or like, she can't be that into activism. Whatchamacallit? She Yeah, I just think that we wouldn't have the Kiki that we have today if she took the route that Zendaya did. Yes, I think that Kiki would be just as successful as Zendaya, because there have been black girls on Disney before. They had Raven.
Yes, yeah.
Anybody after that? Anybody after Raven? I mean, they did have
What was
China
that
and
other little
McClain.
girl that was
China and McClain. I think that's who you're talking about.
no, the one that was caught up with Solange's son?
Sky Jackson. Yes,
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 which
her.
network was that?
She was in a show called Jessie. It was about some white girl living in New York who was babysitting this rich white woman's adopted kids who were Indian, white, and black. It was interesting. So yeah, Sky Jackson's been on Disney, but she didn't have her own show ever.
Okay, yeah,
But
and I don't even
China
know what
and
she's doing
McClain,
now. Yeah, is she doing anything right now?
Sky Jackson is more of that influencer Instagram girl. That's what I'm
Yeah,
seeing from her. I haven't seen her in many projects, because it's
projects.
weird,
Mhm.
because when you're a Disney girl, you have to transition out of that, you know, because you're seen as this little girl or a teen girl. And then when you turn 18 in real life, you want to take on more mature roles, but you're known as a Disney girl. So I think Sky Jackson is trying to transition out of Disney through social media.
Okay.
But Tyler Perry, he had a you seen Tyler Perry shows, what's that show called, House of Pain, with the
Yes.
little daughter. She
Yes.
got her own Disney show, but this was after Zendaya though. She
Okay.
got her own Disney show. So there have been Black girls that have had their own shows on Disney. My question is, why did Keke not get that opportunity if she signed with Disney? Because we saw it, that she signed with Disney in 2005. She did a movie with them in 2007, but she didn't get her own show. But Zendaya gets her own show? Or, I don't know. You just have to...
Listen, let's get into these comments. So Tanner said,
Uh-oh.
Kareem, they ain't listening clearly. Like, sis, they are not listening.
Oh, I ain't.
So Tanner says, but why are you guys wanting women to take the same paths? I'm confused. And she's like, Keke hasn't had that breakup role on a level of Euphoria, but maybe colorism does play a part in it, but we will never know because it's like taking smaller roles. I haven't seen Euphoria. Have you seen that?
I have not watched Euphoria. It doesn't seem like my type of show. I'm more of a
Yes.
Degrassi type.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't seen it. Tanner, let me, I got the link in the chat if you want to come up, Tanner, and speak on it, because I'm not
Yeah, you
familiar
got
with.
some smoke, Tanner. You said we ain't
Yes,
listening.
listen,
You said
Tanner,
we
let me,
want women to take the same paths, because I think you confused there. Come on up there.
Tanner said, listen, they ain't listening to Kareem. Tanner, definitely feel free to hit the link if you want to come up here and provide your take on the situation, because listen, she's like, Keke likes taking smaller roles. So Tanner's like, so okay, is it coming down to Keke liking taking smaller roles, or is Keke not being extended bigger roles? What is it?
I don't
Who's
think
just
she's
running
being
around here taking smaller
extended bigger
roles?
roles. Because Keke has been doing a lot of... She did an MTV show called Scream Queens. This was like in 2017, I think. 2017,
I
2018.
remember when that came out. I don't think I watched it, but I remember
Yeah.
when that came out. Okay.
I didn't watch it either, but I do know she was a part of the quote unquote main cast. There were a bunch of white girls ahead of her, obviously, but
Yes, right.
she did take that role. I don't think that was a small role though. Like, I don't think she's being offered these star roles like Jordan Peele offered her in Nope.
Right. Okay. Yeah, okay. So that's my thing. Like, who's running around only accepting small roles? So I'm kind of stuck on that one, Tanner. When you say she just likes taking small roles, who likes taking small roles? I didn't know
But
that was a whole
listen,
thing.
a bag is
Small
a
roles
bag.
mean a small bag. So who's running around doing that? I don't
Listen,
understand.
Sheik, have you done acting before?
No, I haven't. Well,
Even it...
no, never. I just did when I was younger. I do like stage plays, yeah, stuff like
Okay.
that, but not as an adult, like acting on TV. So talk to me.
Those small roles, sometimes, especially if it's a person with Keke Palmer's stature who has done a lot, you can negotiate how much you're paid. It's like sometimes it's not all good and bad. Like, if you could get a smaller role, you don't have to contribute as much, or it's not so strenuous on you. And sometimes those smaller roles, the bag is okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got Tanner that just joined. Hey, Tanner, welcome.
Hi.
What's up, Tanner?
Hi. So I jumped in like kind of late. I just saw that the other chat, I'm not sure we talked to her. She was just like, yeah, but she helped with Black ladies do the runway model. So I came in late and it looked like she was trying to like defend it. So that's why I was like, oh, they're not listening. But it looks like you guys read that, because I was reading her comments like, wait, why is she like typing all this back to back? So I came in like already judging, because this is such a sensitive topic.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think it's sensitive?
Because I don't know if you've been on Twitter, but it's still going. Like, after even Keke
Oh, wow.
made her awesome tweet,
Yeah.
like it's now they're talking about her attitude and or or just minimizing Zendaya's talent completely. And you guys are like the fourth like kind of podcast I've watched on YouTube today in regards to it, because believe it or not, there's so many different opinions about something that's like should be pretty finite in my mind, I guess.
This is where we're at though, but go ahead, continue.
Have you guys heard of do you guys watch any other like podcast about this topic?
No, I didn't. No.
I
haven't heard anybody do any commentary on it. I heard about it being a thing earlier today.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, well, let's talk about it. But I don't know anybody's opinion on it. I just saw that Keke had responded, but I didn't hear really people's response in regards to what she said. So you're saying things are coming out about what she said that people kind of didn't like?
Yeah, that's on Twitter, but on the podcast on YouTube I've been watching, it gets more like Melanated Crowns. I'm not sure if you heard of that YouTuber on YouTube, but she talks about colorism, and she even did a podcast in regards to Zendaya when she won her Emmys and broke that down, and then she did one on Keke. But I know more about Keke because she was actually talking, I guess she's a fan of Keke, and she was talking about like how Keke likes to do her roles, I guess. So apparently Keke does take smaller roles. She does like to do the more indie films. Okay. And so it's interesting, like when people are like, but she didn't get the opportunity to do like something like Marvel, like Zendaya's doing. It's like, is that because of colorism, or is she literally just not wanting to do a Marvel type of movie? Like that's where it gets like confusing, I guess. I want to know what you guys take on it, because it's like I feel like she's that girl. I feel like Keke was that it girl back like more in the day, and like I feel like she kind of still is. I guess unless I'm tripping. Like
I don't know. I mean, because I didn't know. I guess Keke would have you ever heard her speak on liking to take quote unquote smaller roles or certain type of roles?
I'm getting all this stuff from fans, from stands.
Yeah, because I wonder if people are assuming that.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if people are assuming that because that's what they see her do, not that okay, she's accepting what's coming to her. You know, she has to speak on that to be like, because I just can't imagine why she wouldn't. Who's running around that's an actress or an actor that's turning down bigger roles that's going to really project you out there? That part just defies, and I'm not even an actor, but it doesn't make sense to me. So I would really like for her to speak on, okay, the roles that I pick, it's only a certain type of role I like. I like the smaller role. I don't like the bigger role, because until I hear that, I'm weighing on the side of she hasn't been extended those opportunities like that to get those bigger roles.
Did you see her recent interview she did where, you know how they call her Keke Keep a Job?
No,
I
did.
Yeah,
wow.
That's her nickname because she's always working. Well, it's literally. But she recently did an interview. I'm not sure if it was like before, like during the premiere of Nope or whatever. But she did say like, because they asked her, "You always have a job, girl," blah, blah blah, and she was like, they asked her like what drives her to do that. She's like, well, as an actor, you have to work. And then she's like, what I look for is, are the people cool? Is there food there? Okay, cool. Like her criteria of like getting a role was like so small. So that's why I kind of believed it. I can try to find the interview for you, but she said like, are the people cool? Is the script good? Is it good material? So like her like, what am I trying to say? Like her picking a role is more simple based off that interview. Have you seen that interview?
I don't think I've seen that interview, but I will say like I can understand if Keke did say, "Oh, how's the food? How am I treated?" Because a lot of these movie productions, TV productions, you're not always given the best conditions. Like we've heard of, Me Too and just maybe subtle racism on set or whatever. So all of those could be a factor into why Keke is, and she's been doing this, mind you, since she was a child. So she ain't new to this, So if Keke is saying, you know what, let me see how the conditions are at this job. Am I getting paid, or are we getting compensated with food well? Like, how is everybody treated? You know what I'm saying? So if she is really turning down, like Sheik had mentioned earlier, she doesn't understand how anybody would turn down big roles that would put them in the stratosphere more.
Mhm.
And we have to think of us Black actors. What is the main role that we get that pushes us into stratosphere? A slave role.
Yeah.
Oh
You know what I
shoot.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it is understandable to hear that a actor or actress may be a little bit more picky with
Mhm.
what productions would they work with, who are the producers, who's the directors, who are the other casting, you know. So it's a lot that can go into that, so I won't fault her. I don't necessarily think that she's taking smaller roles. I
Do you
think
think
that
it'll just translate into that maybe?
translate into what?
Like
The ones that meet her criteria of what she's
right,
trying
right,
to do.
right.
And because that just means that what Rez Rose is saying, what I'm gathering is that maybe they're coming at her when it comes to like that, those bigger, like the bigger movies, they're coming at her with a trash character role. Like, okay, yes, it's going to be a big movie, but we want you to be the slave in it versus a character that got some real meat to it with some real substance. Whereas the smaller roles, Tanner, that you're talking about,
Yeah.
they're the
indie
ones.
roles.
So
Mhm.
she's looking at more of a quality
Yeah.
versus kind of the quantity. But at the same time, could the quality ones, those big ones, not be coming at her right
That's true.
Exactly.
because of
Exactly.
colorism?
That's true.
It's like, because they could be, say you same movie with Zendaya and Keke, same movie. They come as Zendaya with a role, a part of substance, and then they come with Keke as a part of damn near like an extra. But it's still
Yeah.
the same big mainstream movie, but look at what the character is. So
Mhm.
again, that you can still open up the conversation of, are you trying to play me as Keke just because I'm darker and feel like I'm only worthy enough to be the maid, but though
Right.
Zendaya can be almost like a leading character or something like that. But it's the same movie. It's still the same, hot big movie that's expected to do well at the box office. So I see, Tanner, what you're saying, and then with Reg Rose, I think what they say, two things can be one right at the same time, and I think that's what we're dealing with.
Mhm.
I think that's what we're dealing with, and if that is the case, of what we're dealing with, both of them is still kind of rooted with the whole colorism aspect.
That's true.
That, so that's my 2 cents. But no, I haven't heard anybody else speak on it. Now it is unfortunate if Zendaya is getting backlash, because I don't feel like
Yeah.
I don't feel like she should at all. I don't feel like Kiki's response people should get backlash. I mean, personally, I think both ladies should probably just stop talking about it.
That's what I think. I'm like, oh, I'm
Just
like,
kill it dead it, because if there's nothing to talk about it, just let the movie do its thing, and both ladies just focus on their projects. And who knows, maybe one day they can come together, and maybe all this energy can fuel them to have a meeting of the mind and do a project together.
That's what I want.
that
I want
right.
them to work together.
Two former
Yep,
Disney
I think
going
that
up.
would do very
Oh,
well.
that's like
Yep.
the biggest like karma ever. Like to all these articles that are like post TMZ, all this stuff. Like
You guys, it
they're
put me in
just
the mindset. Remember back in the day, they would put Brandy and Monica against each other, and then they came
yep,
together. And
yep.
the player's mind was like both of their biggest. I want to say that was like both of their biggest records. That song that they did together. I don't think any of their individual stuff did bigger than that one
No,
song.
well, maybe for you, I will. Maybe that one. That was pretty big.
It was, but I know that was like a big collaboration, and it was
Mm-hmm.
something that people were like really here for, because people. And so that was during my time. So I was in high school then,
Oh shoot.
and yes, I was in high school then. Yes, and during my time, it was a matter of which one. I was a team Monica, and then my sister was like a team Brandy. So we had both of their music in the house. So then it's like when they came together, it was just like the biggest thing ever. And then when they did the verses, if you guys ever checked that out, when they kind of battled, the artists go
Oh
against each
God.
other, they talked about how that was such a big record for both of their careers. So I think that Zendaya and Keke, I can hope that these two ladies, because they both seem like they're very positive ladies, that they'll turn this, turn this into capitalize really off of it and say, yo, we need to do something together.
Yeah.
Two Virgo queens. It's powerful.
Yep, and both Virgos, and Virgos are non-problematic type people. My husband's a Virgo.
non-problem.
I
They
know their
don't.
energy.
They
They're
so
not problematic
chill.
at all.
They just be chilling, like
Yes,
minding their business.
that is what they do. They don't bother nobody. So I'm very familiar with the Virgo energy. So if they two can come together and do something together, I think that would be it, and it'll just shut all that down.
But that's why it's also so annoying. They're so chill, and all this happened. Now,
they don't bother anybody.
They don't bother anybody. Now they
don't bother nobody. So we'll have to see, we'll have to pray. We'll have to do a seance over here on this.
I'll get the holy water.
Right.
Wait, Tanner, how do you feel about this a whole Zendaya Keke comparison? One, do you think it's fair that they should be compared? Do you think that there's any legitimacy to any of this? What do you think?
I don't think they should be compared. No. I just think the person that started that, I feel like was just, there should have been a better way to do it. Right. Mm-hmm. I feel like if you wanted to say something truly about colorism, I just think there was a better way to do it than putting side by side pictures of Zendaya and Keke all over the internet. Because a lot of people, you got to remember, like it's colorism is true, of course, but there's also, I feel like, more behind it. Like Zendaya, I don't know if you guys know, but she like trends every other week for some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but one time she got beat up, the other time she was pregnant. Like, it's.
I ain't never heard of that.
I saw the beat drag. I remember the beat up.
Dragged. They literally were laughing because they thought it was Zendaya. I was like, what in the heck?
I remember that one. I didn't hear the pregnancy one, but I remember that pregnancy one. Was that one fairly recently?
Yeah, that was recent. It was trending.
Yes,
like
I didn't even stop
straight
to entertain it because I'm still trying to work through the fact that they said she got beat up. So I ain't.
And like literally a week later, she's pregnant right after that video.
I'm like, they got the girl beat up and pregnant and knocked up.
Right. So I think a part of it, like, yeah, maybe that person wanted to touch on colorism, but it also just gave a green light for people in the comments to just
hate on Zendaya,
hate on her again, and that's exactly what they did. And it just, I feel like both women kind of got humiliated in that sense because, like, that person that tweeted about Keke obviously was trying to defend her and, like, help her out, but it kind of, like, did the opposite because it kind of, like, made her minimize, I feel like, take away, like, kind of like that power, like, make her seem like her career has been miserable. Right? They start put
her in a victim mode, a victim,
yes.
But I think it had more to do with them taking a jab at Zendaya. Personally.
Oh, it was most definitely Zendaya, because why was her name? They were both trending. But why was her name the bigger one on Twitter? And I'm like, and I clicked on it. I'm like, oh, Zendaya can't act. She can't do this. She can't do that. She's mediocre. This, that. She's only been in Marvel. And I'm like, this girl's over here filming in Budapest for Dune. She doesn't even bother anybody. Like it's.
Are you a Zendaya fan, Tanner?
I just became one in 2019, so I'm late. So like all these stans I see on Twitter, they've been rocking with her since like Disney days, and I've never watched Casey or Shake It Up in my life. I became a fan. I became a fan during the lockdown that's when I started watching 2019 season of Euphoria.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm like catching up, and I became a fan really quickly because I liked Euphoria, and then I started watching interviews with her, and I was like, oh, she's cute, she's really nice. Mm-hmm. Like, watched her models. I follow La Roche. I really like him. Like, and I just kind of like, it's been like a roller coaster after that. I'm like, oh, I love her. Yeah. And I've seen movies of Keke because I'm 30, so like I'm both like, I'm right in the middle of both of them. Like I'm like right in the middle of their time, like Keke's time and Zendaya's, even though I didn't watch her stuff. I saw Aquila and the Bee, but I didn't watch. Yeah. What about you guys? Are you guys just kind of in the middle?
I'm more familiar with Keke's work versus Zendaya's. Because of Aquila and the Bee, and just that was back like I don't even think Zendaya was really on the. Well, she wasn't even on the scene back then.
No, I think she was like 10 years old at the time.
Yeah, so Keke was kind of like that representation, and at that time, when that came out, I was a young, so that probably came out. I probably was maybe in high school, maybe when that came out. So that was just for the Black community, like Keke and the Bee. It was just because you didn't really see a Black girl in movies like that. Like it was just such a good look for the community. So over the years, a lot of how it be when you don't have a lot of representation of you. So whenever you get that one person, you trying to hold on and follow them. And that's kind of how Keke was. It's almost like she kind of was that pave of the way for many of the black girls now.
Mhm.
She was just that one. So that's how I knew. And then by the time Zendaya and everything was going on, I was aged out, you know.
Yeah, same. So
Not aged
my
out.
Yes, I was
yeah,
aged out, and my kids didn't get into those shows and things like that. So I just came to know her. I want to say the mostly I started hearing her name more so when the Koreans mentioned the Dancing with the Stars. I want to say that was kind of when I really started kind of paying attention and hearing her name. And then when I looked her up and saw she was from Oakland, I was like, okay. So when I saw that she was basically from the hometown, I'm like, okay, I see you, Zendaya. And but I didn't listen,
it's
I
from the
see,
Bay.
yeah, I see you. You from the Bay, you know, West Side,
Mhm.
you know. So I felt that just because, anytime I hear, I'm way now in Georgia. So to see people that come on the scene, like, Zendaya, Kaylani, her, like people
Yes.
that come that represent home, that means a lot to me, because I've moved away when I was 14. So
Mhm.
I was like, so I was here for her just because she was like a local to me.
Right.
Never heard anything bad about the girl.
Me neither.
I saw the Spider-Mans, so I don't have anything negative to say about her. So then I saw where they were trying to say she had got beat up. Now, low key, that person did look like her.
It did. I'm not gonna
I'm
lie.
like,
My heart dropped in my stomach. But I was like, wait, I don't think Zendaya has a police monitor on her ankle though. I
I
was like,
need to see this
yes, you need
video.
to
I was
see
like, it,
that.
I was like, it's all over YouTube. Literally, that got uploaded everywhere. And
Yes. And people were laughing, like you said, even if it was her, like people just got a
we're
kick out of
laughing literally because
yeah.
like in the video, like a man literally kicked her in the face
Yep.
while she was on the floor, and I'm like, people were literally laughing. I'm like, well, that poor girl who's actually in the video, like you guys shouldn't be laughing. Like,
I
but
didn't know people hated Zendaya like that. That
I,
is so
you
weird.
know,
I
you know
think
what
too. I think a lot of times, and I'm just gonna keep it real, even though I'm a brown
yes,
skinned black girl. A lot of times, people, just as I talked about my live last night, that Reg Rose, you and I talked about it, where just because you look a certain way, people will hate on you just because. Like I said,
mm-hmm,
my husband and his sister, very fair skin, when they were kids in California, also in the Bay Area, they would literally just have to fight whenever they moved to a new neighborhood, just
yep,
almost like to claim, just to show that they were good enough to be in the community. And once they got that fight out the way, he was like, the kids were just fine with him. And I'm like, what? I'd never heard anything like that. And I didn't experience or see anything like that growing up. And we both were from the Bay Area, just different towns, right at both outside of Oakland. And so I just think that sometimes people will just be jealous of you. Did you guys remember maybe about a couple of years ago where the light-skinned girl got beat up by these black girls because one of their men looked at her?
no, I don't remember
Yeah,
No.
that.
oh my God, they beat this lady up so bad, and then she still was looking crazy, all busted up, still trying to smile through it, y'all. So
Oh my
I'm
god.
okay.
Oh
And it's
my
not funny, but
gosh.
like it just goes to show that sometimes she was like, she legit, she said, she was telling the story. She was just like, I was at a restaurant and this one black lady, and I think it was a big girl too. The other girls were big also. So this girl was like, I think she was fair skinned and she was skinny. She had a nerve to be skinny, fair skin and skinny. So y'all know she going down. Girl,
Oh yeah.
that man beat, I guess he looked at her. Next thing you know, his woman got in her feelings. Them girls jumped that lady. They
Oh my
beat her to a
god.
pulp. She all on camera trying to talk about, I'm okay. I'm okay.
What in the
Like, that's
hell?
not
Yes. So
funny.
sometimes
Oh my
people will legit
god.
hate on you just because of your looks.
I
Period. They don't have nothing bad. They just, I've experienced that just through my life. My stuff maybe not hadn't even been dealing with colorism, but just because of how I looked, I will have, I've experienced where somebody will hate on me or make a comment later and be like, oh, I thought you were this certain way, but you're not like that. Like, sis, how did you form all that? But this woman, she actually, and we became real cool. And she was a big old tall, big old girl with a damn knocked my head off. And so I had got seated by her at a job we were working at together. And because the thing about it, I'll say that my look and my personality, what come out of my mouth, they don't match up, y'all. I'm just saying they don't match up. So I can understand somebody maybe look at me and come up with some whole narrative of who I am. And she was just like, I thought you were stuck up. I thought you were this and that. Now you never said nothing to this woman, but she quickly seen, as soon as I opened up my mouth to her, that, oh, I clearly had her mixed up, because I'm like one of the most down to earth people that you gonna meet. But though she judged me based off of how I looked, and how I looked in comparison to her is I was way smaller, arguably, a more attractive person, somebody that got a lot of attention, where people would talk to me. That's it. But she had formed a whole opinion of me. So I know it's real where people will judge you, and want to fight you. My sisters, I have two sisters. One of them is like fair skinned. And when we first moved to Georgia, and when we moved we were living in DeKalb County, that my sisters would fight just because their boyfriend suddenly liked her, looked her way. And then now we legit, had to move and go to a whole nother district because my sisters, they were fighting because, the hate.
Wow.
Then when we moved, my sister experienced the same thing because somebody other boyfriend looked her way. And, so sometimes people will legit just hate on you because you're different. You look a certain way. And we were different. We were obviously different. We spoke different. We were coming from California. So we had a different dialect. So that was different. And it was just problems, So it is a real thing where people will hate on you just by what you look like. And I think Zendaya definitely feels that heat, because I feel like, coming from Oakland, because I'm very familiar from where she's from, that, sis got the business growing up. I bet you she got a lot of stories of how she got the business growing up, with how she looked living in Oakland. Because as I say, you don't see people looking like that in Oakland. My memory when I was in the Bay Area, people didn't look like that in Oakland. They looked straight black. They did not look like Zendaya. There was no Zendayas walking around. You was not seeing that. So I know they gave her the business in school. I wouldn't be surprised if her story said she went to private school or did homeschool eventually. I would not be a little surprised.
I would venture to think that Zendaya, because Zendaya has been in the industry since she was a child. She started, in 2011, but she's been doing it since she was a little girl. So I would think that maybe I wouldn't think that she would have those experiences. Now, like what Sheik was saying with light-skinned people having to fight dark-skinned people in the neighborhood, I have heard that. And I think that has to do with us not having these conversations, because all of this, like most of this, like, beat up the light-skinned person, that was more like 80s and 90s and 2000s. And then we started talking about colorism in the 2010s. So we haven't really heard many stories of like little girls in the 2010s, little light-skinned girls getting beat up like that.
I haven't. I mean, I haven't.
No.
So, I think that these conversations are so important just to have, because I feel like when back then in the 90s and 2000s, when dark-skinned girls were supposedly beating up light-skinned girls, it was because these colorism conversations were nowhere. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody had a medium to kind of vent and, have a back and forth like how we're doing right now. So, I think that that just kind of shows where we're at right now. Like the fact that we've gone from light-skinned girls getting beat up to dark-skinned girls kind of finally getting that acknowledgement of colorism, and now we're comparing two actresses. Like, I don't know, it's very like we have to look at the community and what's going on with us. For us to even be talking about this is very just peculiar.
Yeah, thank you. I thought it was very strange too. And what do you guys think? Like, I'm not sure if you see it on Twitter, but the day she won the Emmy, you know how they title it, the media title it the youngest first Black woman to win.
When was this? Because I don't really remember this.
She got nominated 3 more times. What was it? Like, it was like literally like a week ago, or like
this was Zendaya you're talking about?
Zendaya, like they just announced the Emmy nominations on July 9th.
Oh, okay. So this is recent. Okay.
This is recent. And you know how like her first Emmy, she was the youngest first Black woman to win, and youngest person in general. Black. Quote unquote Black, and just youngest person in general. So that's what, like you said that.
Oh, wow.
So and then so now she's nominated again for season 2 for 3 more nominations, but they put that Black in front of it again. And under the comments, there's been some pushback with that. I just want to know your guys' opinion when they title Zendaya as the first Black to
Well,
the
I'll
youngest.
speak from
Lord.
the perspective of what I hear Black people talk about, and I can understand it because a lot of times the first, like, I saw this, they threw that with during the was it during the Olympic Games where there was, I think she was like, she was a bobsleigh or something, and she was the first y'all, this girl looked straight white, but she was biracial,
I
because I
seen
know
that.
and
I
most
seen
people
that.
have a problem with when it's a first Black, it's somebody who's racially ambiguous or biracial versus somebody who's evident Black that you don't have to go Google. And
Right.
that's the thing with us. So you have there's the conversations out there is if biracials should be just that's just a whole different category, because it's not technically really a representation of the Black plight, because the brown skinned people, the heavily melanated people, we're still not getting the representation. So
Right.
the higher ups are putting somebody who's got a little bit of melanin in them, that got a little bit of Black features, and they're saying, okay, well, we're going to still catapult somebody who look a little bit like y'all, but not too much like y'all, and just say, okay, this is the first Black. So to us, we would like to see a legit, like a Viola Davis, somebody unarguably
Right.
Black, and then what's the first? So
Yeah, because but then I saw this other argument where this lady was like, Holly Berry, because they were some people were basing off of phenotypes. Because if you look at Zendaya, if you don't Google her dad, you're kind of like, well, what are you mixed with, like, you know? But then when you look at Holly Berry, she's also biracial, but she does look more like a Black woman. The lady said that argument would have made more sense versus Zendaya. What do you think about that when they're both biracial?
well,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Sheik.
Grace Rose.
Oh, girl. Okay, listen. I I automatically, when you mentioned what do I think of Zendaya as the first Black Emmy nom or whatever, I immediately thought of Halle, because she was the first quote unquote Black woman to
Oscar.
win an
Yep.
Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is like, I feel like this is white media showing Zendaya, this is what we see you as.
Yep.
We see you as Black. Just this is them checking her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. This is my Umar Johnson, Cynthia G hat. But I feel like they are. I feel like Zendaya does get checked by white media. Like, for them to say oh my God, the first Black Emmy nom or first Black Emmy winner or whatever. Like, first of all, like Sheik was saying earlier, that experience of being Black is totally different. Now,
Yes.
will I call a biracial person Black? Sure. You can be Black if you identify as Black yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these biracials will say, like Meghan Markle,
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's a good
I'm
one.
a mixed
Yeah, no.
woman, not
She
a
doesn't.
African
Yep.
mixed woman.
She doesn't identify as Black. Nope.
So, and a part of me doesn't like fault her for that. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, like, okay, I'll just say biracial is not Black to me, but I do think it is a Black experience. So when these media publications put out, oh, Zendaya, the first Black whatever, I feel like, one, it's them checking her, reminding her that, okay, yeah, you this cute shiny little light-skinned girl, but remember, we see you as Black, girl.
Black.
Still Black. And it's catch-22 with that is like, Zendaya knows that not a lot of Black people think she's Black, so it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's just
They're
a
setting
weird
her up. It's a setup.
Yes, setting her up.
It's
setting
her up just to get all these comments, because it's like, yep, it is catch-22. You're absolutely right. Wow, when you think about it,
I think they do it too to also, from the other perspective, I think they do it to tell Black people, listen, we gave y'all something. You know, take it. Like, y'all saying we ain't doing that. She may look white too, but hell, we gave y'all something. So stop complaining that you're not, it's like, take what we give you.
This is Black to us, accept it. Like, hell no.
Yeah,
right.
They're like, this is as Black as we gonna get over here. So I think you with it or you not. We ain't getting no Blacker than this over here.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is what it is. I don't fault, Zendaya. I don't fault Keke. They're just experiencing what's going on in society. They're just caught up in it, and right now the conversation is around them, and like anything else, it'll die over into the next big story.
Oh yeah.
you know, until
Yeah.
hopefully they don't put Zendaya in another bad light and get, you know, because now they got
Man.
her knocked up. Who supposed to be the baby daddy?
Tom Holland.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, right. That opened another can of worms, right?
Do you know who that is, Sheik?
No, but it don't sound.
It's the dude that plays Spider-Man. That little short British
Oh
guy.
snap! Oh, they okay. No, okay.
Yeah,
they
that's
invited, supposedly.
yeah, that's her boyfriend, and apparently no, it got started. The rumor got started on TikTok. Some white boy made a TikTok saying Zendaya's pregnant, and then next thing you know, all of Twitter just kept retweeting it. I woke up the next day, it said Zendaya is pregnant. It had like 15K tweets, and I was like, and Zendaya's not the type to address stuff. All the stuff, like when she got beat up, she didn't say nothing. When she did this, she didn't say nothing. She actually put it on Twitter, like, this is why I don't go on Twitter. Y'all see that? I don't know if you guys follow her or anything, but she actually addressed it. Because like, that's serious. You don't just put a baby, like, just say somebody's pregnant.
So what did she say about the pregnancy?
She didn't address it, like, directly. She said, now this is why I don't go on Twitter. Anyways, back to filming. That was her way of saying it. That's so Zendaya.
She found her bag. That is funny.
Yeah, and she posted a little picture of a tennis ball because I guess she's filming like a tennis movie right now. So I love how she did that. And it only worked for a little bit, and the next rumor came out because she was compared to Amber Heard, and now like she just keeps.
Can you explain that a little bit? Somebody did say that
she gets compared to
her. I don't understand that.
So like during the Johnny and Depp Amber Heard trial, they were trying to tell the judges if she wasn't dealing with this with Johnny Depp, her career will be on the trajectory of Zendaya. And they named other actors, but Zendaya was one of the biggest.
Amber Heard said this.
Amber Heard said she would be on the so the guy, the judge, came up with facts. He's like, oh really? So they pulled up the actors cue card. I guess it shows like their following and the negative scores if people like them, people don't. And of course, Zendaya blew everybody out the water. They put Jason Momoa up there. They put Gal Gadot, the lady from Wonder Woman. And of course, Zendaya's at the top of the list. And everybody was just like, it was just like a laughing joke. Like,
why is Zendaya at the top of the list, though? I'm confused on that.
She just had a big following. So they put they put their Instagram followers. And this was like in like 2018. This wasn't even current. And they put the following from like 2018 because I guess that was like the stat she was talking about of when she was like getting roles. Apparently Amber Heard was. Okay. Yeah, and so they put it up there, and this is the time Zendaya had like 69 million followers on Instagram. Now she has like 150, but like, and they just listed everybody's trajectory as far as like, how do people like you? Do people not? Are people following you? And Amber's was so low, but the fact that Zendaya was like the first name she threw out there. It's all like, and so Zendaya was trending with Amber Heard literally on Twitter for like 4 days straight.
That sounds very tone deaf on Amber Heard's part. Like, sis, you're a whole white woman in your 30s. She is a biracial girl in her 20s.
And she was even younger at that. She was what, like 22? She was
and it was all because she felt like because I would have been in a Marvel movie because she was in Aquaman with Jason. She feels like the trajectory would have been the same since Zendaya's in a Marvel movie. And I was like, that is so weird. Like,
did the judge fall for it? Did they go for it?
Oh, absolutely not. All those old white people in the court were like laughing, literally. They were like, Zendaya, the one with no last name? They said that. Like, even the videos are still up, and I was like, wow,
Oh my god, she tried it.
She tried it. So I'm hoping no other person gets weird comparable debate. Hopefully not.
Listen, I mean, I think I just looked up and I found what you were talking about as far as with the her responding. Let me jump over here to the pregnancy rumors.
You found it?
Yeah, I found it, and this was July 1st, so right before the holiday, they start playing games.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the 4th of July.
Right after Juneteenth. Right after Juneteenth.
Going to absolute most. So it says Zendaya is speaking out after being the subject of pregnancy rumors over the past few days. A couple of TikTok videos went viral that were falsely look like the Euphoria actress is expecting a baby, with the boyfriend Tom Holland. So is that really her boyfriend?
Dead ass.
I feel like it's a PR relationship, but what do you know, Tanner?
I know a lot. I've been there's a lot of speculation from when they started dating, but so who knows? The speculation with these fans say, oh, they've been dating since like 2017 on and off, but
like before the movies were made.
See, we don't know, but like for me,
the only reason why they started dating publicly was when they were caught making out in a car last year. Did you guys see that video?
Oh, wow.
No.
I've heard about it, but I didn't see the video.
Yeah, they were leaving Zendaya's mom's house, and they're never public. So like they're always low key as much as they can, but the Paps follow them. Like because it was just like this running rumor they're dating. So it was like we got to catch them doing something. And so Zendaya was leaving her mom's house in Tom's Audi and caught them kissing. And then so that just kind of put it out there. And ever since then, of July 2021, they just been outed. And now everybody's talking about it. Like Drew Barrymore came out on her Instagram saying, "Oh my God, I'm so glad he fell in love with a beautiful woman." Like, it's like she knew about it. And I'm sitting here like, oh my God. Oh, okay. Wow. And then now I see Zendaya with Tom's family in London. Pat pics caught with them and with the mom and stuff.
Something saying they're spotted eyeing a 5.35 million Brooklyn home. So they're that serious.
Yeah, because Tom's filming in New York right now, so he's temporarily staying there. But Zendaya actually owns a Brooklyn condo there already. So like when that rumor came out, well, they're gonna live together or not, I was like, I mean, I guess that makes sense. They're looking because Zendaya already owns property there.
Ugh, Lord.
You're so appalled right now.
What else you supposed to do with that $20+ million?
Listen, I would be, if I was Tom Holland's co-star, I'd be going after his bag too, because he's the Spider-Man. Shit, he
has that money.
Is she taller than him?
She is taller than him.
Yeah, that's been a joke too. Yeah,
she's towering. She wears heels. I'm in her flat foot. Is she still taller than this man?
Yeah, wow. when she wears her heels, I'm just like, it's just so funny to see sometimes.
I could totally see them living in Brooklyn.
Though? Are people here for that relationship though? Let me see what his network is.
Actually, did you see her? So go on her Instagram. She posted for his birthday. That's probably where the pregnancy rumors came, because his birthday was like June 26th or something. And no, it was June 1st. And she posted him on her, well, she has a few pictures of Tom on her Instagram, but she posted for his birthday and said, "To the person that makes me the happiest with a heart." Every celebrity, like Kehlani, Beyonce's mom, everybody's like, "Congrats, Tom, happy birthday." Like, everybody's in the comments. Like, everybody loves him, I guess.
How long ago was that? Because I'm on
this was June 1st. So just, it's a black and white picture.
Okay, I'll have to find that, because I was trying to see.
Has 25 million likes.
He has 67.6 million followers. So
yeah, and
he has followers in her.
He has about 4 pictures of Zendaya on there, celebrating. He posted a picture of her when she won the fashion award.
Tanner, do you think this is a legitimate relationship?
Now I do. Before I didn't, because I feel like fans live in this fantasy world, just like they did with. But then I look at these different relationships with these films like Zac Efron and Vanessa, or like it does.
Angelina
happen.
And Brad.
And that's what I'm saying. It does happen. Now, do they benefit from the relationship? Oh yeah, but do I think, did they fall for each other on set and Tom likes Zendaya? That is not far-fetched to me at all.
I don't know. They're cute. They're both cute. They don't seem cute together. I don't know. Like, they are an odd looking couple. They're both good looking people, but together it's like, I don't see it. I don't even see that being his type. You know what I'm saying? I don't even see him being her type. She gives me, because she was dating a taller white boy. Like, I saw her smoking a cigarette. Yes, him. I don't know. Some
from
unknown.
Euphoria. Yeah, from Euphoria.
Oh, they were dating. Oh, he's an actor on the show. Oh,
yeah, he plays the evil dude on the show. They dated, but that was so funny. It's so funny because according to fans, that was her rebound. So because I guess when Tom and them originally broke up, she went and dated Jacob, and then she went back to Tom. That's the whole thing these fans gather with Pat pics.
Oh, we getting the tea tonight.
No, seriously. I'm surprised you guys don't know this. Like these, they literally sneak these pictures of them, like of them in Brooklyn at a vegan restaurant holding hands. I'm like, how do y'all get this stuff? Like, I'm sitting here like, they follow them. I swear, like these fans find them, follow Tom on set, and it's like, oh shit, there's Zendaya. Okay, yep.
This is the post you were talking about, Tim, the birthday post.
And you see it?
About Kehlani. Can you see it on my screen? On the screen?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yep. Kehlani, a lot of people just were posting absolutely the cutest. So I mean, I don't know.
What do you think, Sheik? Do they look like a happy, legitimate?
I think with just getting to know Zendaya through these interviews I watched, she has like that quirky, goofy kind of chill personality, and
Yeah.
so does Tom. So it makes sense just how they talk and how their
I will
jokes and
say
stuff.
it makes sense. I can see her being with a whole white boy versus a black man.
Same.
Just with her energy.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, and then from what I've heard, normally, especially with biracials and biracial women, like they'll normally date somebody from the white side
Yeah.
versus their
Yeah.
black side. Like,
Mhm.
you know, that's just kind of normally what happens. And so given because I looked up his net worth, he's worth 30 million. So
Oh shoot.
yeah,
Okay. Dang.
they got they're almost like right, you know,
She's
neck
20
and neck.
million right now, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not even including her endorsements and things. That's just with her film. She's at 20 million.
Yeah, I wish
So
Google was
yeah,
accurate with that. I would love to know that
yeah,
stuff.
because I'm estimating that she's probably got another 10 million. You can probably
Oh
easily
yeah,
add. So
you know,
she
Smart Water gave her that bag.
right. So so yeah, so she's probably, and if he's at 30, so they're probably like equally. So I think Haley Berry, I see. No, that okay, that's Halle Berry, the singer.
Yeah,
She
their sisters really love them. They're always liking their posts. Chloe and
really
Halle.
okay.
Yeah.
I think a
So,
lot of people like to see Tom and Zendaya together because they're an interracial relationship, like a white man with a quote unquote black girl, because people do see Zendaya as black. Like this is reminiscent of like Harry and Meghan Markle to me. Like
It's exactly the same to me when I see this and the hype they get. It reminds me
right?
of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? It's almost like I don't know. I've heard some people say on YouTube that it's black people living vicariously through Zendaya. Like, I don't know, like we think Zendaya has, leveled up. No, people do say that when you get with a white person, especially if you're
yeah,
a
Oh,
woman, you get with a white man, you've leveled up.
yeah, I've seen that before.
yeah,
What do you think? Stevie?
I
What do you
think
think?
so. I mean, I see what you're saying because that's with Meghan Markle, even though she don't even consider herself black people found that as a
She is
win.
I don't know why it's so funny to me.
Like they found that as a win. Like, oh my God, we are about to paint the palace black, like it was the White
we
House.
about to have a black prince.
Yes, we thought to have a 90s, 80s parties going. So, but I think a lot of times with these interracial people, black people get more excited about their blackness than they actually do. So it's
Right.
like we go harder for them when it comes to their blackness than they do. So I can
Right.
see why how you say that there's probably black people out there celebrating this because they're looking at, oh, it's a win for the culture. But she ain't looking at it that way because she was raised by a white woman. Her mama white.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the norm to
Yeah,
like
it's the
for
norm for
her.
her, but the black people on the outside, they're looking at, oh, it's a win. She's black. So you got some black people who are like, yo, mixed people, they black, whatever. And then you got some, because I used to be one of those people. Now I'm more so like, okay, that's just a whole separate group because I understand that in society, they're looked at and treated differently. So
Right.
that's why I kind of try to separate because I grew up with that mindset, one drop rule. If you got a drop of black in you, you
Yep.
black.
All of
And
us did.
Oh,
then
okay. I have a question about that.
yeah.
So, do you consider Harry and Meghan's baby black?
Absolutely not.
Would you
No,
consider
that's my
Tom
old
and
mindset would have been,
Zendaya's
but
baby black if they had a
Absolutely
baby?
not.
no, because
Okay.
it's actually going to be more white in the babies than like
But
the white's going to which they say a lot of times with the biracial people, they'll typically hook up with somebody of the white race. So eventually it starts to water down the blackness and fade it out, to where it's just a thing of the past.
Harry and
that
Meghan's kids don't look black at
No,
all.
they
Those
look
look like
straight
no,
white.
white kids. And that's no
no,
shade. There's nothing wrong with looking
No,
like a white kid.
no. But the quarter black is not present in their baby at all. It has a carrot top and blue eyes. Blue
The
eyes.
quarter black is not present.
No,
It's not.
in
And
a couple of generations, it's gonna be phased out. With about 3 generations, that black is gonna be gone. They're gonna be doing an ancestry test, and that's what's
Guys,
gonna
do
say
you know
2%
what
black.
this is called? This is called eugenics. White
Yeah.
people understand DNA. They understand genetics. So they know by getting with a lighter skinned or biracial Black person, their child is not going to look that ethnic. They know this. This
Right.
is a part of their plan. But I'm sorry, that was my Umar Johnson moment.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, they wouldn't. Their baby, I wouldn't consider their baby Black. I would say, okay, the baby got Black in it, but that baby will move through life as a whole white girl, boy.
Do
Oh
you
yeah.
think they're Black, Tanner?
I feel like the skin color will be totally white. It's just that one drop rule kind of confused me for a bit.
Yeah.
Do
But
you
when I
believe in the one drop rule? Do you believe in
uh,
it? Okay, I mean, you can be honest. Like a lot of
when
people
I'm
do.
but like I think I wasn't sure, but then when I saw Megan have her baby, because I was kind of waiting on something, I was trying to see it because like I'm biracial myself.
Okay.
I just I had to see it, and then when I saw her baby, I'm like that. There's literally nothing ethnic about. I just don't think. I'm like, where does that work out at? Like, I'm trying to figure out where did that come from because these babies are literally white, like they're white. Like,
Well, it's more the baby got more white in because if she's half and he's full white, then
yeah, the black doesn't
it
mean
starts to
it's
fade out. And as I said, statistically, normally biracial people will end up dating the non-Black person. You
I
know,
don't
so
even think that's mixed at that point. I just think they would
yeah,
have
like
white
it's gonna
babies.
fade like that. But like I said, in about 3 generations, they're gonna do an ancestry, and it's gonna say 2%
Like, what
Black.
are you?
Tanner,
They're gonna
shout out to you for, being mature enough to have this conversation because I know
Yeah,
this is very sensitive and I didn't know you were biracial. So I hope nothing I
yeah,
said today have offended you. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
shout out
no,
to
not at
you
all.
for having the conversation.
Not at
yes,
all. I was waiting for something like this because, like, I don't want to get in Twitter fights with people back and forth. So it's like, I was so glad when I saw a live podcast happening because, like, there was nothing live I could click on. I was like, I just want to get people's opinion because I got mine, and I'm so glad that I
yeah.
stumbled upon this as I was watching videos in regards to this like all day. So,
Yes, Tanner, make sure you're subscribed and you like because
oh shoot, yes,
I jump on and I go in and I talk about different topics and I love to hear other people's point of views. A lot of times, I'll be on here, saying my thing. So, Reg Rose, he'll get on here, and we'll just go back and forth. But I welcome anybody because we are unique, we're different, and we have different experiences and just your take. And so therefore we have a different perspective on things. And then so you have your perspective, Reg Rose has his, and I have mine. And then we just have a meeting of the minds. And then we learn so much about things that we didn't know, like this post that's on my screen. I didn't
yes.
know that this woman was in a whole relationship with this man and she doing birthday shout outs. I did not know.
Yeah. And if you scroll down a little further, there's
Okay.
another one where it says my Spider-Man. I'm so proud of you. So I'm shocked you guys didn't know this.
No,
I knew there
now
were rumors. I just didn't believe them. I was like, Zendaya can do better, right?
No, right. Because I was like, she doesn't really date. You don't hear about her dating too much, anyways. So,
But then I
But when
consider
you
that
say she can
Spider-Man
do,
bag.
what'd you
but when
say?
you say she can do better, who do you have in mind? He's Spider-Man. What is better than Spider-Man?
She can
That's
do
true.
like a KJ app, like a more sexy white boy. I think she can get one, right?
Is he
Yeah.
her age? Like, because
They're
they're
the same
both like
age. Yes,
they
they're both
are.
26.
What
Well,
does his money look like?
No, it's not as big as Tom's. I don't think. You talking
All
about the
right
dude from
then.
Riverdale? Talking about from
Yeah, KJ
Mhm.
Appa from Riverdale, the redhead looking, like a sexier white boy. I
Yeah.
think
What you
Zendaya
say
can
his
pull
name
that.
was? I want to look him up. KJ
K-
what?
KJ.
KJ
KJ
Appa,
Appa. Okay, I see.
APA.
Well,
Ooh,
there was a
AP fine.
rumor. There was a rumor that
Let me
Zendaya
see.
dated
Let me see. Let me
Trevor Jackson
see.
back in the day. Y'all heard of him?
The black guy from Grownish.
Yeah, they did the Disney thing together, and there was rumors,
Uh,
long-standing pictures of them throughout the years, and Zendaya did the whole "nah, he's my buddy" for years, but
I could see him wanting Zendaya, but I could see Zendaya curving him. Absolutely.
giving it the good old one
Isn't
two.
KJ Appa cute though? I could see Zendaya in him.
This man got a whole family? Who is this
Yeah, he
woman?
do. He
And
do.
why
Oh
is
But
he
wow,
still.
I didn't
like
know that. I didn't
Yeah,
know
he got a
that.
whole baby mama and a
That's why I'm
kid.
like, wait a minute, he ain't no option. He ain't no
I don't
option.
think he married this girl either. So yeah, she's a baby mom.
Oh, okay. So he ain't above making a baby mama. Okay.
Oh,
So
well, look at
I
But
that
don't
he's
think that
picture.
fine
Spider-Man
though.
will
Oh
make
yeah.
Zendaya a baby mama. I'm just saying.
You don't think he will?
No, not make her a baby mama. I think he'll
Well,
marry her.
let me wow you for a second here.
Uh-oh, girl. You
I
about to
had to
shake the
get you
table.
excited. I had to get you excited.
Shoot. In the British GQ that Tom dropped last year, they asked him what his plans were. This is while he's dating Zendaya. They asked him what his plans were after Spider-Man 3, and he was like, "Well, I hope to take a break from acting and go start a family."
Girl, Zendaya
I was
ain't
like-
gonna give up her career.
Not and go
She
start
like,
a
girl,
whole
I just started. Oh hell no, my
that's what I'm
nigga.
saying. Like maybe he said that. I said maybe he said that, but that's like a good 6 years if you're trying to do it with Zendaya. Like I feel like she's at the
Listen.
peak of her career. She's not
Right.
mom.
maybe
She is
when
not.
she gets 30. Maybe when she gets 30, but
Right.
not now.
I was like, don't. I was sitting here like, don't do that to my girl Z. Like,
Yeah.
What's another cute white boy? Like I could see her with like a Jack Harlow type, just not a Tom Holland. He's so British and like white. And no offense, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like Zendaya is from Oakland.
right. That's when you
Yes.
say it like that. I'm like, oh, maybe nah. Damn, there's not really much to because I'm like, I don't see her with Timothy Chalamet. That's not a good
Ew,
option.
he's not even cute.
That's what I'm saying. There's not much to choose from, like that are like in her
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
her age.
Well, I guess Tom Holland's the best she can do. The best white man she
Yeah.
can get right now.
I mean, she
to
can
me,
date Zac
her
Efron.
He's gay.
To me, I think to me it's equivalent of, with her and this guy Tom, to equivalent of when Lori was with Michael B. Jordan. To me, it's equivalent.
Yep.
Okay.
So from a financial standpoint, it looks good, So
Oh yeah.
When you're going off of that, that's why I'm like, okay, these other guys you're throwing out, what does their money look like? Because
y'all just looking at money. I'm like, dang, these are working actors, y'all. They ain't broke, dude.
We were trying to
it's
slowly get the whole
Angelina
package.
Jolie she married Brad Pitt. She wasn't just being with anybody. You got a reputation.
Girl, did you see the man she married before Brad? What was his name?
Billy Bob.
Billy Bob.
Yeah, Billy Bob. But Billy Bob he was making money though.
Yeah, he was rich.
Yeah, no,
that's what I'm saying. It's about the money. It's not about the. So you caught up in these looks, Reg Rose.
I am. But I am a gold digger too.
You gonna be on Skid Row with some
fine
man with some abs and ain't got no money, and y'all living in his wooden cardboard. But
Girl, the devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. I rebuke that.
You gonna be like, he look good, y'all. He look good.
Oh my gosh. Really quick though with Keke Palmer. I do love her tweet because I learned stuff that I didn't know. I didn't know she was the first Black Cinderella on Broadway. So like I
think I actually saw her.
I didn't. So like after she did that, I like Googled stuff. I was like, oh no shit. So
wow. Yeah. I'm not really big with Broadway, so I don't think I even knew that.
Me neither. Me neither.
The only person I remember dealing with Broadway was Fantasia, y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
The Color Purple.
Yep.
That was the Broadway, and I always wanted to get a chance to see it, with seeing her there and do it.
Have you ever seen a Broadway play or a play?
I haven't. I want to, but I haven't. Have you? Because you came out of New York.
Yeah, girl, of course. I've been to theater. I actually saw The Color Purple. I was in a theater class in college, and I saw The Color Purple with Jennifer Hudson when she was performing it. I think this was like 2016.
How was it?
It was good. Like it's not like the movie. The set was kind of low, but when Jennifer comes, you go for her singing and shit.
Yeah,
right.
So it was good.
Yeah, I would like to. I always say, I would like to go to New York and check out some shows. My husband has absolutely no desire. He's such a clean, neat freak. He's like, oh, it's just too dirty. I don't, we're from California. He has no
Y'all
desire.
can check out theater plays in Atlanta.
Well, we got some. We have the Fox Theater. I always said I wanted to see the Nutcracker there.
I want to see Lion King.
I see concerts there. I've never seen like a play there. I've seen like concerts, like music there.
That would be a cute date. That would be a cute, sophisticated date, like black tie.
since I looked into anything. Even I haven't been to the Fox in so long, but yeah, I would like to just check out some a show one day, in New York. But The Color Purple, back when Jennifer Hudson was in it, and
Yeah.
then so did she replace Fantasia? Did they swap each other out when it
I
came to
think
that?
that they did a new production. I think Fantasia was like 2014, 2015, and then they reprised it with maybe a new production or new
Okay.
producers. So I don't think it's the same people putting it's different. It's difficult to say, but like people put money into certain projects. So maybe the people that put money into Fantasia's project were different people that put money into Jennifer Hudson's project. That's the best way I can explain it.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, because yeah, so I heard good reviews on both of them. With both of the ladies playing, doing The Color Purple. I just didn't.
Right.
So they don't do it anymore, right? They stopped
No,
it.
they're about to do it again.
Oh,
The
really?
girl from Orange is the New Black. What is her name?
Laverne Cox?
Not Laverne.
No.
The girl that Danielle something.
Is it? Oh shoot, I don't even know.
Danny something. But she's on Orange is the New Black, and she is just been you remember Chic, I told you about that ABC News colorism story I was telling you about?
Refresh my memory on that.
When Halle Berry said that, oh, I'm doing this for the Zendayas,
Yes,
when I
yes,
was
I
telling you about
remember.
that,
Yes.
they mentioned that I think Oprah is involved with this new Color Purple that's coming out, where Danielle something from Orange is the New Black and Cynthia Erivo, I think, is on it too. Oh God, let
Well,
me
I
see.
wonder how that's gonna go. A lot of people don't like her.
Yeah, she is a little weird, but I still
Yeah,
support this. I
yeah.
tried.
Yeah, I'm wondering how that'll go because it's a lot of people. I think, well, Americans, at least I'll say, they don't really rock with her too much.
Okay, Danielle Brooks. That's who is going to be in that she's going to be Sophia, and I guess they're bringing back, it says they're bringing back Fantasia. It says it's supposed to be a movie.
I think I
Oh,
might have heard
oh.
that Color Purple. I think I might
It's
have heard.
one
I
of
think
those
it's gonna
like
be.
live, like how they did Grease and
Yeah, I remember that a while. I think was it earlier this year they may have talked about that.
right.
Color Purple reboot.
And then type in Danielle Brooks maybe.
Danielle Brooks. Let me see. I forgot about that, but
I've only
let me
seen
see.
the one with Oprah.
February. Is this it? Daniel Brooks star in The Color Purple. So Fantasia's coming back.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen? So yeah, this was earlier this year. Okay, film. Okay, so it's a film would be based. So it's gonna be a film.
But I
The
think it's
film
going to
will
be a
be based on the
musical
property.
film.
Okay, with star. Okay, so when is it supposed to come out? They never really said when it's supposed to. Yeah, I'm not seeing any dates or anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
when that's supposed to come. I forgot all about that. I remember I was excited when I saw it. I forgot. I mean, that heard that they were coming out with something, but I haven't heard anything about it. So that would
Yeah,
be good.
they continue it. I don't think they're going to stop it anytime soon. Like they
Okay,
continue to make adaptations of it.
I guess because it does so well, huh?
Yeah, it's a staple. I feel like it's a staple in the Black community, like a story, like I loves Harpo, but I kill him. Yeah, it's a staple. I remember I
Yeah,
cried when I first watched Color Purple. Oh my God, I'm so
it's so
gay.
long too. Did you watch it in a day?
Oh, I
Is
watched
it
it at night. It was like on BET or something with my
okay? So
mom.
you was up at night crying.
I was like, what she say? What? Oh my God! At the
You
end when
told
they
Harper to
clap.
beat me. Did you cry
You
on that
and
part?
me must never part. I was crying to my mom. I was like, she said, must never part, or something like that. I don't know. I was crying like a little gay boy watching Color Purple for the first time.
Oh my God, it was
Lord.
hilarious. Yeah, I haven't watched that movie in so long, but I know like I was like, who that is? I always say who that is Harper when it's somebody I don't know who it is.
I
It's just like,
love Harpo.
yeah, or you do that, yeah.
Tanner, do you know what we're talking about? Oh, hello? Is she there?
Uh-oh. We didn't lost her.
Oh,
We
damn.
lost her. She didn't dip. Hopefully she know what we talking about. She said she biracial, but we don't know what she biracial with. So hopefully she
Girl.
know. I wonder do white people watch The Color Purple? Are they familiar with it?
I feel like they do watch those type of like Jim Crow slavery movies just to maybe feel better about themselves. Some of them do.
Right. You said to feel better.
I mean, would you be
Oh my
surprised? I
God,
wouldn't be.
no.
Shit.
I mean, they
They're
come out
probably
with
like, oh, what amazing time.
they coming out with them every so many. Like it's like they're always coming out with some kind of slavery movie. I've seen most of them, but I think the ones they've come out as of late, I haven't even.
I could see them being like, oh, back when the days were good.
You need to stop. I remember there was this play that people were talking about where it was like dealing with that, and these black women were okay, I guess.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
You
It's
know what
called
you probably lived
Slave
in New York back
Play.
then. What was that?
It was called Slave Play. It was written by a black man, and Rihanna actually promoted this play. It was basically, from to my knowledge, I believe it was like a 2 or 3 acts with 2 or 3 different couples, and one of them was like it was basically a play discussing race play. Have you heard of race play?
No,
Race play is a sexual BDSM or porn genre where black people let white people be racist to them in bed. So like you remember you were talking about Donald Glover, right?
Yes.
He did an interview and he said that when he fucked a white girl, oh, excuse my language. When he had sex with a white girl one time, she called him the N-word, and he said that he came so hard, like it was the hardest he ever came after a white girl calling him an N-word. So when we talk about slave play, what you're talking about is a play that was happening in New York City. It was written by a black man, and it was a play displaying race play. Basically, black people allowing white people to be racist to them during sex. I think in that slave play, a black woman let the white man call her the N-word.
Wow. I just remember, and you said Rihanna was pushing
Rihanna promoted it. Yes, you can type in slave play Rihanna if you want to look it up.
Let me put that. Lord, Riri. Jesus.
I cannot believe Rihanna even
Riri was that
co-signed
when
it.
she was running around with that man, that foreign guy?
Yeah, that Arabian billionaire.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah, she was lost in the sauce back then. She done found her way back.
Girl, back to a dusty, but that's another topic.
Rihanna, yeah, they was talking about when she stepped out, talking about, oh, she still looks big, like she just had the baby.
I'm like,
And
girl, yeah, she just had a baby. Y'all are
yeah,
weird.
like you know how the internet is. Let me see. Rihanna, Jeremy O. Slaves plays and talks with link to Rihanna. Let me see. Is this what you're talking about? It's got Rihanna name in it. Jeremy O'Hara's slave plays intricately linked to Rihanna. So I wonder if this is what you're talking about. Can you see my screen? And
yeah, I can see it.
yeah,
It's maybe it or the link after it, maybe it.
So then let me try something else. Okay. Rihanna's late arrival to the slave page starts.
Defends late as slave.
Rihanna defended
I don't know. Rihanna was
Broadway. Let me see. What is this? Rihanna late and texted during Broadway show Slave Play. Here's why playwriter Jeremy O'Hara is defending from critics. So her name was surrounded a lot dealing with this play. I was there and had a huge problem with this. She is no more important than any of the rest of us who actually followed the dang rules. Rihanna sent a text in the middle of the Broadway show, and the drama that followed was a lot. So what she had to do with slowing down the production of the play.
I guess he really wanted Rihanna to see it that night, and she was running late. So
we ain't starting until Rihanna get here to see this play. Wow.
That's weird. I don't know why she wanted to see this play so damn bad, because it sounds just embarrassing as fuck. But
I can't even imagine sitting through that. Like that. Those. I mean, if you said
this is what white people probably pay to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, when are they ever going to get a chance?
Right. Like the stuff that people get off on. Race, Rihanna, and box office drama. Slave play is heating up Broadway. So did he think that, okay, if Rihanna was in the house, it was going to bring the buzz? So it says, okay, when a goddess is running late, you wait for her. Wow. That's the
That is
ethos that
crazy.
slave play, one of the most buzzed about shows on Broadway. The play, which dissects the legacy of slavery and interracial relationship, has drawn legions of famous fans from Zendaya, there go our girl Zendaya,
Girl,
I
Zendaya
naming
got a good
everything,
look.
and to Madonna. Many of them are connected directly to firecracker playwright Jeremy O. Harris. Is he a black guy? You talking
Yes,
about
he's black.
okay.
He was in the picture with Rihanna that we just showed.
Okay. This weekend, however, saw the arrival of somewhat truly special. Rihanna looms large over slave play, as Harris said on Twitter. Her words are all over it. She's a ninth character in the play, and she was in the house. What does he mean by she's a ninth player character in the play? Or rather, she was on her way. Riri showed up late, but instead of adhering to theater traditions and locking her out, the producers held the curtains until she was seated. She then gasped, text Harris during the show, and the playwright gasped, text back. The events made their way into the tabloids and have since kicked off a discussion about theater etiquette. It is rude to use one's phone. Should celebrities be treated differently than buyers who shelled out $100? What is the right way to show support for the work? Here it's simple. The patron saint of the play I wrote is literally a pop star, fashion icon, and demigoddess named Rihanna. He tweeted, when Diane Nisi, whatever that is coming to you, hold the curtain. And he doesn't mind the texting, as he believes there is no right or wrong way to watch the theater. Okay, so because basically it was Brianna, I guess she was able to do what she wanted to do. So
I love how they're going in on theater etiquette when the whole play itself is just
oh,
embarrassing and problematic. Like, this
and
is
now
what y'all are focusing on.
yes, yeah, you know how people will pick and choose that little part, of what they want to pull out of it. So,
Hey,
you
Sheik,
know,
Tanner said she's back in the back chat. I don't know
let
if you
me
wanted to bring her
see.
back.
Hold on, let me add her back. Okay, Tanner, you back?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Okay, yes, we
Mhm.
can hear you.
I don't
We
know
were
what
just talking
happened.
about Rihanna and the slave play. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, I guess how did we get to talking about that? What were we talking about, Ray?
We're we're talking about Broadway plays and how you wanted to go to one
Yeah,
and then
and
was
I
Rihanna in a
kept
play or
No,
something?
she promoted this play, and I think that's
Oh,
how we started.
what's it about?
it was a
Slave play.
slave
No, I never heard
play.
of this before.
Yeah. I was telling him I kind of had heard about it, but he was kind of giving me background about how Rihanna's name was kind of linked to it where she was promoting it.
Is it a
And
good play or
um,
Well, let me ask you this, Tanner. Have you heard of race play?
never?
Okay, so race play is like a porn genre or like a BDSM sex thing where black people hook up with white people and they allow white people to be racist to them in bed. So like a
What
black
the?
guy, letting a white girl call him an N-word in bed. That's
Oh,
kind of
that
race
stuff.
play. So that's kind of the gist of what was going on in this slave play. This writer was like glamorizing or fantasizing about the interracial relationships that happened during slavery. Like, dude, what? I don't understand how you could think that people would want to see that,
That's
but
people got sick kinks. I tell you that. Like,
yeah, I
I
just remember about that play being out, and it was dealing with, because I think I heard some other people on YouTube talking about it. So I didn't know, didn't hear Rihanna's name coming up with it, but I just heard just people. I think it was on if you guys ever listen to Tariq Nasheed, you guys familiar with him?
we know him.
Yeah, so he's in LA. So I think he talked about it, and I think that's kind of how I learned about it, with him kind of showing that he wasn't here for I guess that type of play or whatever, you know.
Yeah, and I don't agree with him on a lot, but see, he knows when this is some coon
Yeah.
shit.
That's
I
really
will give him that.
But the play didn't actually happen, did it? Or
Yeah, it did.
It did happen. I don't think they're running anymore, but
what?
it was it was a big turnout. This was like in 2018.
Why the hell do I hear about this stuff?
I learned about it, I think, from just Tariq talking about it, and
Jeez.
it was probably like maybe within the last 12 months, maybe that I even heard him talking about it. So the play probably stopped running probably right around probably when the pandemic maybe hit.
Yeah.
Sometime in
So are
2020.
y'all fans of Rihanna or nah?
Of course. Well, I am.
Yeah,
I ain't got nothing to hate on her for.
yeah, I'm good with her. You know, I've actually, you know, over the years was more of probably a Rihanna fan, more so probably even than Beyonce. I found Rihanna to be more. I say
If
that
the beehive hear you, they beehive will
say
come
that
to you.
because I found her, not that her skill, it just was I find Rihanna to be more personable, more kind of more down grounded with, like, I can easily see her just walking down the street in New York and like not thinking nothing of it. You don't, to me, like you're not gonna see that. You know, she's gonna be surrounded with a bunch of people. So from a talent perspective, no, but I'm just saying I found her to be more touchable, where from that, you know, just more down to earth, somebody that you'll bump into and see out in public. I can't imagine ever like bumping in and seeing Beyonce in public. So that's why I say from the from that, you know, from the personal side, I found her to be more relatable, because to me Beyonce seems untouchable.
Like God, like almost like a God weird, like,
yes,
kind of
I compare Beyonce to, like, remember Michael Jackson? It was like he was like this person, untouchable, like not even human. I compare her to like a female version of him, where you know who they are, but they're untouchable. And Rihanna, I look at her, she's more of like a regular person to me, like, where it's like you can just easily see her just chilling, shooting the breeze with you, having conversation with you. I can't picture Beyonce doing that with anybody.
She don't even do interviews, like, you know, it's like she literally, for music, for acting, she doesn't talk to anybody.
That's allegedly because she don't know how to talk.
Yeah.
Is that why? Because I thought it was just like, well, it's Beyonce.
I feel like
I've heard that people critique her how she talk. They don't think she's smart and stuff like that.
Right.
Oh wow. Oh, damn.
A lot of people from the South, even my mom, she has a Southern accent like Beyonce, like thicker than Beyonce's. And people do think that you're stupid when you have a Southern accent like that, or just have that Southern twang. It's
that makes sense. Yeah. That country.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, she doesn't talk. So I think that's the reason why. And then I think because of that, that's why Rihanna was actually able to surpass her more when it came to financials, because Rihanna puts herself out there more. She gets in the trenches more, whereas Beyonce kind of stays in her box.
That's true. What do you think of the new album, the new songs?
I was okay. I mean, I'm not really a house you know, but
me neither.
But I know that she's one that tries different things. So when you know Beyonce is somebody who just is multi-talented, like, and have these different sides of her, I didn't think nothing of it, but I know a lot of her fans weren't here for it.
I literally was so disappointed. I'm not even gonna lie. I was so pumped up, and then I saw Zendaya freaking reposting it on her Instagram. I was like, oh, this is about to be a hit, right? I was like, yes. And then the house music dropped, and I was just like,
I liked the song. I didn't think the song was bad, but
I didn't think it was bad. It wasn't my thing, but she's Beyonce, so I don't ever think anything is bad. I didn't really see why people were so like in their feelings about it, because my thing is, like, she's shown over the years how she can do just these different types of things with just her music abilities, her vocals. So my thing, it was, why be so surprised that she would go that route? She's Beyonce. She switches it up all the time.
That's how you know she's like, it's queen status, because even if it's not your type, people are just gonna buy it anyways. They literally don't even have to like house music, but it's Beyonce. You're gonna like it. Like, it's still gonna
they finna turn that song into some rap song, slap Jeezy on it or T.I., and they finna make it. They said, Beyonce, we didn't like it when you completed, but we finna add this and this to it. And they finna remix that thing so many times.
Right. That lyric where she's like, you don't gotta go to work. I was like, well, I do, but I'm gonna listen to this song anyways.
Yes, it's like they finna change it up. You finna have all these different versions, variations of it, and all of that. It ain't gonna even sound the same. But like that's the Beyonce song because they gonna switch it up and they gonna make it work because she Beyonce. So I think she'll still hit her numbers. It'll be interesting if she goes back out on tour. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I can't even
If
picture that, but yeah, that'll be great if she
if
did.
she, I mean, because she's gonna have. They're talking about 3 albums she's gonna be releasing, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm more upset that Beyonce has done country music. Like when she like that Daddy's Lesson song, and it's just like really be like, I get it, you're the best, but
I wonder if she's trying to just get tilt and get into another genre to get just more fans, and she's
she just
getting
won more
old.
awards. She wanted to be the first Black woman to get the
Yeah.
country whatever, first
Yeah,
Black woman to house. It's just
but
like,
she
dude,
still ain't got that acting award like Jennifer Hudson. What was that?
girl,
I
but
don't think she will though. Come on.
That's her
she
goal.
won't. She won't.
Nah.
But Beyonce did get an Oscar for her album, that Lion King album, just not for her acting.
Yeah, she did. But like, it's with Beyonce. It's like I don't know. I feel like music in the industry is like changing every time, and like I'm not saying all Beyonce's albums are the same, but like we all know what type of music she sings, and I feel like some of it she has to kind of switch it up. I like because
Yeah.
you know what I mean. All her albums are kind of like, oh, we know it's a Beyonce album. Like this sounds like
And she has to, and then you got to think about she's competing against a newer,
Right.
younger people. So
Exactly.
my thing I like is that, and as I talked about with on a previous live, Tanner, I had this live where I talked about like with Sierra and the singer Sierra, and I feel like she's still trying to compete with those in their 20s who are like 10 years younger than her versus elevating and going to a different area. You know what I'm saying? And I think with Beyonce, she's not trying to compete with them. She's like, yo, I'm getting older. Let me step into unexplored territory and see where it goes. And to me, as a mature woman, because I'm within Sierra's like 37, I'm 41, and Beyonce's like around 39. So we're all like in the same within 5 years of each other. And to me, it's about growth. It's okay to grow and to move past to go. Like I think Sierra's, still trying to hold on to like her youth, I guess. And my thing is it's okay to evolve into something else. And I think that's what Beyonce's doing with her new music. I personally feel like, she's Beyonce. I'm not a beehive, but I do respect her craft and respect her. But so I feel like even though people are saying whatever they're saying, I think still her numbers are going to be Beyonce numbers. They're still going to do well. And she's people are going to look for her to see if she's going to be going on tour. And I think it's a good look for her. I don't like to put people in a box, and I think maybe her fans are trying to do that. They're trying to put the box.
I think I kind of low key did without realizing it too.
People get so selfish and stuck on what they like and what they're familiar with, and change. Everybody don't adjust and take to change very well. And that's just society. Like people want to buck the system. No, I'm not ready to go over there. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And then when they get over there, it's like, oh my God, what took so long for you to bring me over here? Because I do that. It's just because it's just the idea of kind of stepping out of the stepping into unexplored territory, stepping out of what you're familiar with, your comfort zone, what your fans like already. So it's just like, what if they don't like it? What if this or that? And I just think that Beyonce's like, yo, what do I have to lose? I got all the money in the world. Like legit, what do I have to lose? Let's do it. Let's just do it. Why not? As I go and gallop into my 40s, let's just do this thing. Let's tackle the country. Let's really set it off. Let's be at the Country Music Awards the next year. That's what she's trying to do, y'all. She's trying to show up and show out the Country Music Awards. Because y'all know them Country Music Awards. I remember at one point they were saying what the country music, I don't know if it's still the case, but that was like the biggest selling genre of music. So I don't know if rap maybe have come along and taken over. But at one point, country music made the most money.
Did it? I know there's a lot of crossover with rap. Nelly loves doing that.
So I don't know
yeah.
if they still hold number one, but I remember years ago, like
Mhm.
hearing like back when, in my 20s, where country music was like that's where the money was, country music.
That's
So
crazy.
because did Michelle from the Destiny's Child, did she ended up doing country music, or did she do
She did a gospel
gospel?
album.
Yeah, it was gospel. Yeah.
Gospel. Okay.
I could
Okay.
see how country music would be the most selling because white people actually buy music. They're
That's
not
why they
really
were saying they don't
streaming.
bootleg it.
Yeah, they
They
don't
don't
bootleg it. We
bootleg.
bootleg shit. Yeah.
They don't
Oh,
bootleg. They actually
cute.
go out and support and things like that. So I feel like she's like, yo, maybe if I can't get that Oscar, let me try to see if I can accomplish getting some award in another genre of music. Because what else, she's like, what else is there for me to do? Because at this point, when you're somebody who did almost done it all, you're now sitting thinking like, okay, what else can I do? And
Right.
somebody's like, hey, Beyonce, what if you did country? She's like, huh?
Her creative juices start flowing. She's
Yes, like,
what?
you
You're
know
right.
what? And she's from Texas, and she got that twang already.
Hell
So
yeah.
that she was like, you know what? And that she might end up doing a gospel album one day. Like, I think that's the thing. What they say, rich people, they start getting bored.
Mhm.
Kind of like what
Yep.
they say with Hollywood people, when they dip into drugs and all these different
Yep.
sex acts and stuff like that. They get bored.
They
Like,
get bored. They
just
get all the money. The
yeah,
dopamine's
they
not
were
the same. It's
like,
like,
what else to do? Okay, I done been with all these women. Let me do what, a man and a woman. Let me do two men. It's just like, like, that's what they would say about Jamie Foxx. They were like, he be bored. He be like, listen, whatever, white girls, whatever. I'm just wanting to just do something different. And I think that's what's going on right now.
yeah, Jamie. Yeah, you nailed it with Jamie Foxx.
Yes, yeah, that's what they say. They be like, that man be like, listen, the more the merrier. Long as you ain't black. They say he don't want no black one now. Long as you ain't black.
he loves him some white women.
Yeah.
He was head over heels for Katie.
Aren't they all? Him, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, the more
Mhm.
as long as you ain't black, that's the prerequisite. Like with the Asians, or like we were talking about Reg Rose, where or I think that was maybe on one of your videos where it showed a lot of times they want to exclude black, or it's just like, okay, or what you talked about with like the gay world, like, okay, well, I date everything but black. So sometimes
Right.
people start to do that, especially as they try to climb that ladder. It's like the black person is that, it's almost like we're that come up group. Like,
Yeah.
okay, before you make, because have you guys ever noticed, like, all these, like, let's just talk about the rappers, they first baby mamas was like black, like she was
Mhm.
Keisha. She was
Right.
straight Keisha,
Yeah.
Keisha in every way. Then as they started their money, starting with Lil Wayne, with Ray Janae, as they start to make money and become more popular, then it's Maria, then Ling Ming, and it started
Yeah.
moving away
The
from the
shaders
black.
get lighter.
Yes,
each
it gets
time.
lighter,
Yep.
and eventually they fade out of black altogether. They start going light skin until they fade completely out of black. And it just seemed like, that's what happens, where, they black people, a lot of times, we're just that come up group, and we got to recognize it for what it is when we see we're in a situation and that's what it looks like.
That's a horrible mindset though when you think about it.
Yes. But you see that's what it is, or what it looks to be, when you see that these people, because like I said, Jeezy, you can go back to so many of them before they were who they were with someone who was just a black woman, that no question a black woman. But then as their success got bigger and they started making more money, then they just, next thing you know, it's like that black woman is a whole thing of the past, and their kids look different. The older kids look different from the younger kids.
Well, let
They
me
don't
ask
even
you
look the
this.
same.
Do you
Have y'all
think
seen Bobby Brown's younger kids don't look like his older kids?
when people get money, do you think money changes people? Because I'm looking at it like, okay, he started off where most of them start off with black baby mamas, black girlfriends, whatever. And then, it makes me question, if they never got this money, would they still go for, like, it's almost like if you're given $100 million and you've never done drugs before, or I don't know, like it's like, if they weren't given the opportunity, would they take it? Like, is this money capitalism? Like, I don't know. I'm listen, I do not like giving black men any credit at all, but this is, I feel like, with the money thing, like most black men, obviously most black men have probably never seen a bunch of zeros or commas in their bank account, so they may act a little bit
I
nigga-ish. once they
I
get
think
money.
they wanted these women all along, but they couldn't afford it because the thing about that white woman,
Right.
Becky, she's about her bag. And like if you not coming, like Keisha will ride or die with you. Becky, not so much. She's like, sir. No. So I
Right,
think that
right.
they always would have wanted to be with her, but it's almost like they couldn't afford to get in the room with them. So it's like now that I can, I got the money to go where they are, and they're not just going to laugh at me and walk off because they look at the white woman as a sign of, oh, I made it, that it can help me get into these rooms with other white people, because
Right.
now I'm not looked at as being as intimidating or as threatening because I have a white woman on my arm. So I have something in common with them. While they're there with their white woman, I have a white woman too. So the defense of that white man goes down. So it's almost like the using of the white woman for the stepping stone to get into certain meetings.
Girl, Tanner done left. I was about to ask her what
Yeah.
she thought about all this.
Yeah, maybe she'll come back. Her internet is dropping, but yeah,
Okay.
that's my thing. What's your thoughts on that? Like that, my thoughts on that part.
I think they did want these women to begin with. It's I think you know a lot of that does have to do with conditioning. When black kids are in front of TVs, all they see is white. So a bunch of black boys, all they see is white girls on TV. They grow up and they think that a white girl is the trophy. So I could understand it, but it's 2022 now.
Right.
We should all be aware of white supremacy and the white standard of beauty, how black people try to live vicariously through. Like, we know it. We're not dumb. We know what's going on. So I think when people try to, it's just hard to know whether or not a black man is genuinely in love with that non-black person that they're with, because you've got racism and colorism and just all these factors that are pushing this relationship. It's
Well, what
like,
do you think about the idea of it being like a trend? Like sometimes I'll let you know. Sometimes I feel like even just with like just say the LGBT community. Sometimes I feel like with Niecy Nash. Sometimes I feel like these celebrities do stuff for a trend just to get people, just to get attention.
I definitely think there are trends specifically with the LGBT community. Personally, I think that this trans stuff, the gender stuff, is a trend, but that's just my opinion. I won't go too deep into it, but you
Yes.
probably know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Um, with the interracial thing, I do think it's a trend because I believe the Kardashians really put black men on the market for white women, because nobody was really checking for black men until Kim Kardashian came on the scene and she had that sex tape. Then you had all these white girls kind of opening up, loosening up, being more open with the black men that they date. Like,
Yeah,
yes,
I can see that.
there were white women before Kim K that dated black men, but
And then,
like,
so are you saying Kanye then from say black men who follow Kanye, they are like, yo, if Kanye got one, maybe, that's the thing to do. You think maybe they, Kanye people, that was part of a trend too with from his followers, from the black man's perspective?
from the black
Because it seems like everybody just wanted to be with a Kardashian. That was the
men,
thing.
yeah.
Like it didn't matter as long as I was with one, even if it was a Jenner, just long as what they say, as long as I'm a part of the family, long as I'm at the table on Thanksgiving. So
Honestly, no. I think that the white women that followed Kim K, I feel like they ran the culture of that more than
okay,
black men listening to
okay,
Kanye, because black men were still fucking Becky's before Kanye got with Kim. They
okay.
were still obsessed with fucking Becky's and Maria's and Ling Lings before they got with Kim. You know what I'm saying? So I think that white women kind of saw it as a trend, saw it as oh shit, we got Kim K over here. I know that as a white woman, I'm better than Kim K because she's not fully white. So
Right.
if she can get with a black man and her career elevate, I absolutely can do it. Like, so I think it was more of the white women following Kim, whereas the black men following Kanye.
Okay. Yeah, and at that time, I guess yeah, I mean her influence, she probably still had over 100, million followers.
Kim was popping. She was
She was still
slowly
popping.
becoming
Yeah,
pop.
I've never been like, but she was. So I can see that makes sense. That makes sense. I never really thought about it that like that. It's just I just started just suddenly just seeing this influx of just these relationships with the black man and a white woman. But that makes sense, and I can see how Kim Kardashian and Kanye, because when you think about it, with all of the interracial couples, I would say they were arguably probably the most popular couple.
They were.
Okay. Yeah. So
Tanner, what do you think of all this? Because I know you're biracial. I hope we're not offending you, girl, but
No, not at all. Not at all. But I do agree with you guys. Just based off status, definitely put stuff on the map, and that nobody's done before. I didn't think about, especially with the LGBT community, which I'm a part of myself.
Okay.
Yeah, and so no, I agree to all of that. The Kim K's, all that. Yep.
Yeah. So it's sometimes I think of some things are, it's just like a fad or a trend.
Yes.
And
It's
because
like these women really don't like black men. They're just trendy right now. These girls don't like black guys. Like, if we think about it, black guys right now, they have the worst reputation in the dating world right now. They're the ones going on the internet creating these toxic manosphere incel channels. White guys, Spanish guys, Asian guys, they're not doing that in droves. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what white woman with self-esteem would really consider a black man a viable partner in 2022? Like, if any white woman with self-esteem would not be going
with self-esteem.
We honestly think about it. If you got some stuff, if I was a white man, if I was a white woman, I would be fucking taking advantage of that damn white privilege, getting with any white man that I could. You know what I'm saying? So,
my God.
Any white man that would make my life better. So, for them now not now, but you have to kind of like, okay, Scarlett Johansson's and fucking Margot Robbie's, they're not just going for black guys. Like, they're not getting it.
No,
and black men think that they are. No, black men are getting the Jenny McCarthy's. They're getting the Honey Boo Boos.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. No, they're not. And you see Kim went back, she's not with another black man, and I don't see her probably backtracking from that.
No, she actually looks really happy.
I heard that her she has a surrogate. No, not do they have a let me see. I think she got a surrogate on the
on the last child, or are you talking about
surrogate for Pete?
Yeah, I think.
Are they about to have kids?
I think I heard her and Chloe both have surrogates right now. I believe.
No. I'm just saying no. I sure as hell hope she just they literally have only been dating for 8 months, right?
Because when I was hearing about Chloe having a surrogate, they were saying that she did it right after I think with Kim having a surrogate or something like that.
Chloe be driving me crazy. I can't with that woman.
Girl, and the gag is that they surrogates be black women. They be having black women carry their
black women, but we're our birth, we get pregnant easier. Listen,
it is mortality. Yeah.
I don't think Kim Kardashian, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think she considers herself white.
She may not consider herself white, but
she's white. She really
Armenian,
she claims that heavily. No, I'm Armenian, but I'm
you ain't black.
I'm as much as you tan, Kim, I know you're tan, but you are white, just like Kylie and Kendall.
Yeah, society looks at her as white. Listen, it's either you're black or you're white. You ain't melanated, so you don't understand.
And my thing is that Kim be trying to say, I'm not white, I'm Armenian. Well, girl, let's look at Armenia's geography, because it's right in the middle of Europe and South Asia or something.
You just got a fancy name that somebody can't spell or pronounce right.
I'm sorry, Kardashian is European by association.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, you got the white privilege. How about that?
Yeah, it's hard to look at their mom and be like, you know what, you're not white.
Yeah, nah, just
and think about it too. Kim is from LA. She's a Valley girl. You know how they be talking. Oh my God.
What do you think about her friend? Have you noticed her friends, the twins, talk the same way?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Malika and Khadijah.
What is that about?
Well, Malika and Khadija, obviously they're Oreos, and there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. I like the way they talk. Actually, they're very
It sounds like
articulate.
them. You don't think they talk like them?
I
The
absolutely
Kardashians?
do. They do. They do talk like the
So you like
Kardashians.
how
But
the
I get
Kardashians
is it
speak.
just that area? Because I was raised in California myself.
I'm from the Bay. They
Okay.
don't talk
I'm
like that.
I'm currently in Arizona, so I was born in Ohio, raised in California, and I
Okay.
live in Arizona now. But I'm like, I didn't pick up that accent. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Isn't this
that's
like
the
a Valley Girl thing?
Yeah, that's more of like Southern California. Like,
So,
so I'm from
okay,
the Bay Area. We don't speak that way because I
Oh.
didn't even notice there was really a difference like that until like when I moved to Georgia and I met some people here who were from that part, and you could tell the distinct difference with how my sisters and I spoke in comparison how the two girls,
Yeah.
they were sisters, how they spoke. So that's when I noticed like the different dialect from Northern California, how we speak. We didn't really have that valley sound, but like the two girls friends that we made that were from like San Diego area, they had the valley sound. So
Were they black?
Yeah, they were black.
Oh
They
wow.
just the dialect, it was just different. They were because California is such a big state. It's almost like it can be two states in one.
That's how I pictured. Yeah,
The
yeah.
cultures are completely different. That's why when I meet people and I talk about California based on their vibe and what their interests are, I'll just recommend, hey, I think the Bay Area, you're super chill, you're gonna like the Bay Area. If I pick up that you like
Okay.
that party life and you like to get like meeting you, Red Rose, I'll send you straight
Hey.
on over to LA. Red Rose, go on over to LA. Bay Area ain't gonna do nothing for your soul.
Girl, no, I love the hood. Stop.
Yeah, no, they got that. You just like to, you like to get out, get in, you get down, and you like to get out in the streets and just see what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the vibe in LA versus the Bay
Yeah.
Area, not so much. So it's completely different. It's a 6-hour drive between the two locations. So we would vacation
Oh
there.
wow.
Yeah, so in the
I thought
summertime,
Oakland was
no,
adjacent to England, or not England, Inglewood, and like,
no,
oh wow.
it's a 6-hour drive. So that's
Oh
like we would
shit.
vacation there in the summer to go to like Disneyland. Yeah, that was a vacation. That's why, because the state is so huge.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
and then the
Okay. Okay.
culture when you go, it looks nothing. Northern California looks nothing like. The Bay Area, we don't have like beach. We got like one beach called Stinson Beach. We're around the bay. It's a different feel. It's not beaches, people walking around with
Gosh.
G-strings and
Gotcha.
Speedos. You got people over there who don't know how to swim like me. They be like, how you don't know how to swim? I'm like, I didn't grow up around the beach, ma'am. I grew up in the Bay Area. We didn't have that water to be just jumping into.
Oh my God. I can't.
Because people automatically, when I say California, they think LA.
Yeah.
Because on TV, that's mostly the scene that they show of California. So when I came to Georgia, people assumed my life was like Beverly Hills 90210. So for you you babies back then, that was
I know what 90210
okay,
is.
whatever.
But
That was like the show, and people would like think that was like what my life was like. And it's like, no, sir, no, ma'am.
wow.
I'm from California. It was nothing like that. It was just completely different vibe. I watched their life on TV just like you did. It was nothing like so. Definitely, Red Rose, with you being in California, I recommend making your way and trying to visit and check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's just real chill and laid back. It's real chill. Like
Okay.
Zendaya's vibe personality is California all day long. Just chill, lax.
Yep.
That's the Bay Area vibe.
Girl, I'm not there yet. I am a New Yorker in
Oh,
and
goodness.
out, through and through. Yes, I grew up in North Carolina, but New York is like Harlem changes you. Like, I don't know. Well, Harlem did make me more tougher, just kind of. So I mean, I get it. But this California chill vibe, I don't think I'm there yet. I think I'm too high maintenance.
Yeah, that's why I would send you to LA.
Kind of wish I had that tough thing going on because like I was raised in LA, but like I moved to Huntington, so there's nothing tough or nothing over there. Like it's nothing.
Oh Lord.
But, yeah. So
Huntington, like when we buy those Hollister colognes.
Yeah. And to throw it in there, I also longboard and skate and stuff. So.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. You real hard, Tanner. You real hard. And don't tell me your name. Yeah, that really, they like, we need to go the other way. We need to go the other way.
It's crazy when you move to a different state. It's like obvious to other people. So like when I came to Arizona, they're like, "You're not from here, are you?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, that's how it was when I came, to
Yeah.
Georgia. And even still now, when people talk to me about it, they can tell I'm not even from
Ex-
Georgia. If I say
exactly.
California, they're like, okay, yeah, I can see
I
that.
see it. Yep.
Yeah, they're like, I see it. So, I mean, I'm a forever California girl. It's in my soul. So I will always still represent West Side, Bay Area Warriors, go Warriors,
Yes, yes.
Raiders when we had a Raiders.
Hey.
So, yeah, but it's good to be able to move around and explore different places,
Yeah.
because you learn more, you become more cultured, you get out your box. So I think it's great that we all have that in common, where we're not where we're from. We've
Yeah, that's
moved and
cool.
experienced different things, and it makes for great conversations on platforms like this, to be able to get into different things and have share our opinions and things like that, and be able to speak on things from different perspectives. So I am definitely, this was a great live, guys. I didn't realize it would turn into something this amazing tonight, when I'm like, I need to get on here and talk. I want to talk about what's going on. So it definitely was much better than I thought, than I would have even expected, because I got to hear like different people's point of views and stuff. Because I know how I feel, but I like to hear other people's side, because it gets me to thinking, I'm thinking in a way that maybe I ordinarily wouldn't have thought about. And then it's great to have company where people who are like-minded, who feel the same way and are open to hearing what other people have to say, and to not be a hostile environment. Like, listen,
Right.
Kareen came up in here. Kareen was like, we need Reg
That-
Rose and
that's
Chic.
what
Y'all
I
playing
told-
game.
She
Then
was
Tanner came
not
up in here
playing.
like, y'all are not listening to Kareen.
I Yep, that's exactly what happened. I'm like,
See,
why?
Tanner, I knew you was about that with your name, Tanner. I said, Tanner about to give it to us, Reg Rose. Her name
I'm like,
Tanner.
come on up, girl. Come on up.
Tanner about
That's
to give
just
it to
my
us.
nickname. That's
Yeah.
just my nickname.
So I'm just glad that you guys, came up and gave, your perspective of whatever. Over here, I'm just a smaller YouTuber growing. So definitely come back over here. Keep your notifications on. I just be real random with whenever I can, with going live. And when there's a topic out here that kind of moves me and I'm like, yo, she got something to say, that's when I kind of jump on here. So just definitely, you guys just continue to keep your notifications on. So, the next time I go live, hopefully you can kind of come on up here and we can get into the next topic, because y'all, it's always foolishness going on out here. In these YouTube, like, there's never like, okay, the question be about, what am I going to talk about now? Because it's so much stuff to choose from. It's just like, what is most important to talk about? Because it's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world. And tonight we even touched on like multiple different topics, just within this one, because there's always things that can lead to other conversations that needs to be had. And I think we touched on a lot of things, and it looks like we had a good number of people that came through. Everybody, please like, share, and subscribe, so if the video can spread through the algorithm. And we're going to go ahead and in this live, y'all, we've been out here for almost 4 hours. So it was great. But when you have good conversation, time flies.
It really did fly. This was great.
I don't mind it at all. So yeah, y'all, until the next foolishness happen, I will be back. And y'all know that's probably gonna be, by the time I shut this live down, something else gonna pop off. Cause y'all know
right. I'm like, wait, come back.
They be like, listen, like, y'all come on back up in here. They tripping again. They are straight tripping out here in these streets. We got to get into it. But over here, I call it the party, where the starlights, we just get into things. We get into it, all these topics, these things that maybe the celebrities, listen, they got money on the line. They can't talk about it. But guess what? We ain't got nothing to lose over here. Listen,
Okay.
listen, I ain't got nothing to lose over here. Keke, if you don't want to say it, we're going to say it for you, sis. This is a mess. And that's what we're going to do over here. So I do thank you guys. I'm going to drop, in the description, or, the links and things that we visited. And just stay tuned for the next broadcast. All right.
All right, cool.
Hey, thank you, Chic.
Thank you. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.